Usually they're pretty uneventful, so the beginning of the season is normally a very exciting time for the Islander fans to just get back on the ice, get seeing the team. This year's a little different. This year had fireworks all summer long, starting with the hiring of new general manager Matthew Darche, followed by the winning of the first overall pick, followed by the pick of the first overall pick, and then the free agent signings that came thereafter. And so Islander fans are very excited. I'm very excited for the year. I think over the course of this summer, more than any summer that I can remember, this team and maybe any team has really given itself a direction for the future. And I think it was a team that was sort of in question as opposed when it comes to what that future was going to be. And in 2 short months, I think they've gone and solidified that identity.
There's always a lot of optimism every offseason, and certainly a special buzz here on the island this year. Matthew Darche was hired back in May. They made that first overall pick in June. Matthew Schaefer will be on the ice tonight. We'll talk about him in just a moment. But Cal, also a lot of big names in this game, including Matt Barzal, who missed all but 30 games last year due to 2 different injuries. But he said earlier this week that he's 100%. He's ready to go. And Patrick Waugh has him playing center again.
That's a great thing for Matthew Barzal. I think when he can use his speed through the middle of the ice, that's what makes him extremely dangerous, especially off the rush. I think when you're playing wing, you're standing still a lot more. You don't get the chance to wind it up the way Matt likes to wind it up. Now, it's nice to see him back from an injury, that, especially a lower body injury, that can really hinder someone's skating ability, and for somebody who relies so heavily on their legs. It's nice to hear and see that he's been skating really well in training camp. He looks like the old Barzal. I think he's got some new players to play with, some new power play specialists. So hopefully Matty can kind of refine his footing here at the beginning of the year and get off to a good start. And the Islanders really need him to step it up and play well this year.
He said this morning to the media that he was only hoping to maybe get that fluidity to his skating back, still getting into a rhythm here in this game tonight, so something to keep an eye on for Matt Barzal. Well, when Matthew Darche made that first overall pick back in June, he knew he was getting a great human being and also a tremendous hockey player. Matt Barzal actually went as far to say he might be the best defenseman in the National Hockey League sometime very soon. His debut in the preseason tonight, Cal, he'll play with Scott Mayfield.
I think it's a great fit for Matthew Schaefer tonight, and to be honest, this is a franchise-changing opportunity. Not only getting the first overall pick, but getting it in a year where you have a great human being, a kid who's mature and wise beyond his years, and a player who looks to be franchise-changing. And at the defense position, these players are very, very hard to come by. And Matthew Schaefer looks like he has all the tools. Tonight is the first step towards seeing if he can become what everybody in Islander Nation hopes he can be.
Well, the Islanders roster didn't change a whole lot over the offseason. Certainly Matthew Schaefer tops the list, but they also added names like Jonathan Drouin from Colorado and maybe a prized possession from the KHL in Max Shabanov. He's going to play for the first time in an Islanders sweater here tonight. And Cal, everybody seems to think that this may be a diamond in the rough and maybe one of the best players on the Isles this season.
Well, the Islanders staff's surely treating it that way. He's elevated right to the top line with Bo Horvat, and he's going to get an opportunity right off the hop. And it looks to be just a very skilled offensive player who, hopefully his game translates well to the North American game. And by all accounts, it looks like it will. And like I said, he's getting the opportunity here tonight. Islander fans get their first look at him. Should be an exciting player. Hopefully he turns into what they hope he can be.
Very well could. We saw Max Siplikov come over from the KHL last year, and now Shabanov this season. We're ready for preseason action. It's the exhibition opener. It's the New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers coming up inside UBS Arena. Puck drop after this. This is Islanders hockey here on NewYorkIslanders.com.
At Northwell's Cardiovascular Institute, we don't know the meaning of untreatable or too complex. Call us determined. Stubborn, maybe. But from the city to the suburbs to the sand. As the most experienced cardiac team in the tri-state area, with the nation's highest cardiac success rates, we face what others call untreatable and say, not today. Northwell. Raise health.
Cruising in, wrist shot, scores! McLean with the steal, Holmstrom scores! Now back out in front, Gepholm scores! We scared to fall when our number gets called. It's when we stand up and roll. Alpha Pollock closing in, he scores! Down on our luck, we sitting there stuck. We found a way to move up, yeah, we go for it all.
It's the Islanders and the Flyers tonight, the exhibition opener for the New York Islanders here inside UBS Arena. We're set to kick it all off, and the number 1 overall pick this past summer, Matthew Schaefer, will be on the ice first, paired up with Scott Mayfield to make his unofficial New York Islanders debut here at UBS Arena. Alan Fuhr and Cal Clutterbuck with you, excited to kick this thing off. And Cal, I know these guys have had a couple of hard days of training camp already, maybe not quite as hard as last year, but they're ready to go and get some game action.
It's always nice to get your first game under your belt in training camp. I always disliked the first 3 days. It was always difficult. It was always tedious. They're longer days than you're used to, but nothing like getting this first one under your belt because you know you're one closer to starting the regular season.
Patrick Waugh has focused more on structure and some special teams work this training camp, at least so far. And now the first preseason game, Matthew Schaefer, Scott Mayfield defensively on the ice up top. It's Kyle Palmieri, Matt Barzal, and Anders Lee. The puck is down, and away we go with the preseason here tonight. Now the Philadelphia Flyers, New York Islanders both missing out on the Stanley Cup playoffs last year, and obviously trying to turn things around heading into this 2025-26 campaign. As Kyle Palmieri brings it ahead, was trying to shuffle it through to Schaefer, and that was yanked down by Yegor Zamula.
You can see Schaefer getting up in the play, leading the rush on his first shift in the NHL. Pretty impressive stuff. Giving you a taste of what you're going to see for a long time here in an Islander uniform.
Everyone has talked about how good and clean of a skater he is, how fluid he is, and oh, by the way, he just earlier this month turned 18 years old.
Pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible.
Pass through here to Horvat. Couldn't handle that one. Getting a touch on it was Andre. Islanders press and keep it in. Here's Jonathan Drouin. His first shift of the preseason as a New York Islander. Shabanov on the ice as well. Here's Horvat behind the net. Opening up, strong on his skates, and he'll leave it in the corner for Shabanov. It's Max Shabanov. Puck to the middle. Here's shooting and just putting it off the body and wide. From the far side of the ice was another first-round pick, Kayshawn Aitchison, 17th overall this past summer.
Great little look there from Drouin from the goal line. That's pretty good cycling play by those three. Really good to see them getting it going early.
Islanders careful with a change. So we're just over a minute and a half into the first period. Aitchison paired up with Tony DeAngelo as he's onto the ice here at UBS Arena for the first time. The Isles wound up with 3 first-round picks back in June. Schaefer at the top of the list. Also Victor Eklund at number 16. Kayshawn Aitchison at number 17. Eklund is not here in training camp. His season has started overseas. But excited to see what Kayshawn Aitchison can do as well. He wears number 37. Jennings keeps it in. Floats a shot at David Riddick. Pops out of his mitt. Sent up the far boards. Not quite out by Islanders defenseman Marshall Warren.
Pretty good start to this game for the Islanders. Pretty good flow so far. I think, in these exhibition games, Alan, you're really just looking for pairs, looking for individuals, looking for lines to see what they can do. at this stage, and even chemistry when it comes to pairs and lines with guys trying to figure out what's going to fit, what's not going to fit. So pretty good start for the Islanders.
Puck intercepted here, brought in by Nesbitt. He'll hand it off. Obbles a shot, he scores. And the Flyers get one past David Riddick just under 3 minutes into the first period. Philadelphia this preseason with an early goal to take a 1-0 lead.
Tough to see where that one went in. I'm not sure if it snuck over David Riddich's pad or under his pad. It looked like, almost looked like a fan shot, Alan. It looked like he was trying to go far side high, and he almost heeled it a little. Yeah, it looked like just fooled David Riddich a little bit. A tough one. Hopefully he can bounce back from that.
The plan is to have David Riddick play the first period and a half, and then sometime around the 10-minute mark of the second period, Patrick Waugh will put in Parker Gahagan, who has joined the organization on an American Hockey League contract, playing tonight on a PTO. But David Riddick entering his 10th NHL season, first with the New York Islanders. And that one sneaks past him. Just a little under 3 minutes into this hockey game. Here's Romano in, shot off of a stick behind the Flyers' cage. Hunter Drew angles it out high. Schaefer reaches back, fires a shot off of a body. It's going to kick into the corner. Zamula finds the glass and sends it out. Cal, to your point just before that goal, Patrick Waugh said he doesn't care at all what the Flyers do. He's not concerned with any part of their game and their lines. He is strictly focused on his players, how guys communicate with one another, how they skate, and especially how they break out of the zone.
Yeah, and these preseason games for the NHL veterans is more about getting your timing, getting your feels. And for the kids who are trying to make the team or just got drafted, it's really about trying to make an impression. So, maybe take a little more risk than you would normally. Maybe have a defenseman like Aitchison down the boards trying to create some offense. Just something to get visible, something for the brass to see and put a check mark next to your name just to, I got to watch him tomorrow. I got to watch him more closely or give him more action. That's what you're really trying to do as a young guy out here.
Islanders strong on the forecheck here. Barzell with the takeaway. Lee put it through Kyle Palmieri. It escapes out of the zone. And here is Kayshawn Aitchison. How could you not be excited for Kayshawn Aitchison after watching his highlights
his
when he
highlight
was
reel.
drafted? You're the perfect guy to comment on that, by the way. He hits everything in sight like a bowling ball. Absolutely wrecked guys and juniors. I think everybody wants to hear what you have to say about Kayshawn Aitchison.
Well, I was struck by the violence of it all. I think, and for me to say that, it's a pretty impressive thing. I didn't know anything about him, and then the Islanders drafted him, and I took a peek at the same highlight reel that everyone's seen, and I was quite frankly blown away. And my first thought was, for the Islanders, I think that's a really valuable thing to have in the lineup is someone that's going to really make opposing forwards and defensemen think about, their safety when they go out on the ice. Just like a guy like Garnet Hathaway does for the Flyers and Matty and I try to do for the Islanders for years. It really is a valuable piece to have the other team a little bit nervous about when they catch that puck, whether or not they're going to get crushed.
McWard giving Noah Cates a rough ride. Cole McWard signing a 1-year, 2-way contract over the summer. Won the Calder Cup with the Abbotsford Canucks and the Vancouver organization this past year. Good work here for Matthew Highmore. Zamula is going to swing it around. Scott Mayfield steps to it, shoots one off Zamula. And the Flyers will break it out. Stumbling down to the ice there is Gendron. Good, slow, developing play that was canceled out entirely by Matthew Schaefer. Jeffries floats it to the front.
You can see the gap there on Matthew Schaefer and the skating ability. He doesn't even let the opposing player get the blue line. And a lot of times with defense that struggle, it's giving up the blue line. People always want to talk about D-zone coverage, but a lot of times it's how easy you give access to your zone. And, an 18-year-old kid that can skate like that and a gap ability like that, not only did he finish that play off, but he was right up on the far side, beating his forward up to the net, creating an odd man rush. Some great stuff early from Matthew Schaefer.
You see that poke check there, the long reach for Matthew Schaefer. 18 years of age, native of Hamilton, Ontario. First overall pick back in late June. Just 17 games last year in the Ontario Hockey League with Erie. Started the season with mono, ended it with a broken collarbone, but he showed enough in there in the middle and previously to be the consensus #1 overall pick.
It makes you slightly nervous picking a guy first overall with 17 games under his belt. I think the last time that happened was
Nolan
Patrick, something like that, had the similar type of year, and potentially Morgan Riley was. They were first rounders, not even first overall picks, but it's pretty impressive that that's all they needed to see is 17 games out of the kid.
Aitchison, good hard work in the far corner with Jack Nesbitt. He was the 12th overall pick in June by the Philadelphia Flyers. And a penalty coming up here on Philadelphia. It's interference, and it'll put the Islanders on the power play when we return. Emil Andre got himself out of position. Islanders draw a penalty. And the Islanders are headed to the man advantage when we return, looking to tie it up here in the first period of this preseason opener.
There's a chance and they score!
You make good choices. Always planning ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day, follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UBS, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
Islanders and Flyers here in the first period. Hey, don't forget, season ticket members get access to exclusive events like the upcoming FanFest Barbecue on September 28th. Hang out, eat barbecue, and play lawn games with your favorite players. The last chance to get in on the barbecue is coming up, so sign up to become a season ticket member by September 27th to lock in your invite by calling 888-NY-ISLES or reaching out to NewYorkIslanders.com/membership. Well, the Islanders are on the power play. First power play opportunity here against an opponent of the preseason. Matt Barzal has a look, swings it over to Horvat, and then down at the goal line is Jonathan Drouin. Those three are joined by Lee and D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo quarterbacking this top unit. And the Flyers figure that one out and send it down the ice.
This is an interesting first look at what will probably be the number one unit for the New York Islanders, and obviously a power play that's struggled a little bit the last couple seasons, and you know, the power play can really get you a lot of points during a regular season and really help you in a playoff fight. If you happen to be a bubble team, it can really put you over the edge and put you in that 5-6 spot. So the Islanders really need their special teams this year if they're going to be who they want to be.
Yeah, Cal, the Islanders' power play didn't just struggle. It struggled mightily last year, finished under 13% for this season, 31st in the NHL, but they made some changes to the coaching staff. Ray Bennett was hired over this summer. He will take control of this power play. Again, the first opportunity here is down to 49 seconds. The puck held in by Barzal, given a rough ride by Obels. Barzal scoots away from him, then pulls up and has a look. D'Angelo over for Drouin. Drouin backpedals. D'Angelo across. Look for Barzal. Obel's got his stick on it. He's got the Flyers' goal so far. D'Angelo. Drouin. Delays. Whiffs on the pass to the middle for Horvat. Gets the puck back, and then this one's poked out of the zone, and power play is down to 20 seconds. The Islanders will put their second unit on.
It looks to me like it's the same type of struggle that the Islanders have had. I think the delay in the puck movement, that puck needs to move a little quicker. I think when Barzal gets it on the half wall, sometimes he misses his windows into the middle or across the seam. You try and get that thing moving more, and you try and get bodies moving a little bit so that the penalty killer, the forward in the middle of the ice, really has a hard time detecting who he's trying to cover, because he's trying to cover 2 people at once. Him and the backside defenseman are trying to cover 2 guys at once. That's your advantage. You got to isolate that guy and make that play quickly.
Shabanov on for Romano. He gets a good-looking shot off. That's fought off by the blocker of Alexei Kolosov, who is starting this game for Philly. That power play ended, not a whole lot doing for the Islanders. Back to 5-on-5. Shabanov can't clear the zone. Kept in by Matvei Michkov. What a season he had a year ago. 26 goals led the Flyers. One of the best rookies in the league. Finished 4th in the Calder Trophy race for the league's top rookie. Of course, Lane Hudson, Montreal, won that award. But Michkov had an outstanding year nonetheless.
Under some form of duress as well, with a couple run-ins with his head coach, John Tortorella, last year. Always an entertaining situation when Torts is coaching rookies, but still had an impressive season.
We do have some Flyers fans tuned into the live stream here. Of course, it's a new era in Philly as well, not only here on the island, but the Rick Tocchet era has begun. Rick Tocchet hired back in May and behind the Philly bench tonight. Just coming off of 3 seasons with Vancouver. The shot blocked by Cole McWard. He gives it right back up to Gendron. Alexei Gendron in the middle. This one played back post, and it came all the way through out in front of Devin Kaplan. Bo Horvat can't work his way around Grabenkin. Here come the Flyers back in. And it's Kaplan from the right circle. Tried to slide it over to Gendron. That one got broken up.
Islanders on their heels a little bit. I think you could see what happens from a failed power play. Not only not scoring, but not really generating any offense, many shots on net. It kind of sags the team that ended up having the power play and gives the team who killed the penalty a little life. You can kind of see this manifesting itself here in this game. And, just these little things in hockey games that can really help win or lose games. And that's why the power play has to go out and shoot the puck a little bit early. Get that thing on the net. You never know. Anders Lee is one of the best, rebound cleanup guys in the league. So they got to shoot the puck more.
Shots are 3-2 in favor of Philly. The Flyers lead it 1-0. We'll take a break and have more from UBS Arena.
You make good choices. Always planning ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UBS, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
The Islanders are proud to partner with the W2 Foundation as its Hockey with a Heart charity partner. You can support their mission to foster educational and intellectual advancement for deserving students through scholarships and to promote social responsibility. Enter now for your chance to win half the pot by betting big. The raffle ends at the Islanders home opener on October the 11th. Get your raffle tickets now at Islanders5050.com. Well, we're just over halfway through the first period. Islanders trailing 1-0 on a Rodrigo Abels goal through David Riddick, but he stopped 3 of the 4 shots that he's faced. Now he's got a face-off coming up to his right side.
Rodrigo Abels sounds more like an MLB name than it does an NHL name, but there he is. He's on the board.
Rodrigo Abels Latvian from Riga, Latvia. Actually made his NHL debut. Here's a shot that didn't quite get through to Riddick. Made his NHL debut last season, Cal, at 29 years of age.
Wow.
The long journey overseas and in the American League and in the ECHL as well, but he stuck with it and ended up playing in the NHL with Philly last year for the first time.
Always fun stories to hear, guys sticking it out and finally getting their chance.
The Vancouver draft pick, 184th overall back in 2016. Shot here by Highmore, kicked away by Kolosov. Scott Mayfield. Cross-ice pass right on the mark for Marshall Warren. His stick gave out as he tried to beat Kolosov far side.
Another indication of a young guy trying to get noticed. Great recognition by Scott Mayfield finding that seam. It looked like you could drive a school bus through it from up here, Alan, but great job recognizing, putting it on his tape. Just didn't connect. Had a little broken stick issue there, but otherwise great chance created.
Noah Cates in. He'll drop it off for Barkley. Drags and shoots. Save Riddick to the corner. Flyers are right back on it. Andre with a shot. Goes through a couple of skates. And Noah Cates comes away with it in the corner. Fresh off of a brand new 4-year deal over the summer for Noah Cates. Matt Barzell is going to grab the puck here. Skated up ice. He's got Palmieri with him. Palmieri taken to the corner. Cal, I feel like that's one of the major differences between an established NHLer and someone who's young and trying to break through and make it at this level is the vision that you mentioned. You know, up here it looks obvious in plain sight, but I can't imagine it's that easy down on the ice.
It's really not, and a lot of times this is where fan frustration comes from, especially the higher you sit, the more you see. And that's why sometimes when they say guys sit out in the press box, they either get injured or they get a healthy scratch. You'll hear coaches say, you know, sometimes it's good to get a look from up top because it really does kind of allow you to see what's going on and see the structure of it all and kind of notice the little things of the game that you can't see because when you're down there at ice level, and even when I do it between the benches, the perspective of the game is completely different. It looks like there's no room out there from down there. From up here, it looks like there's a ton.
By the way, it's good to have you up here in the big chair in the booth for the first time.
First time I've been nervous for an NHL preseason game in a long time.
Yeah, with our friends at MSG Networks, typically you're down there in between the benches, which is, you know, a different vantage point and has its benefits, and you can hear things said in between the benches, I'm sure. But yeah, it's nice to have you up above here for the first time.
It's nice to be here. I'm having a lot of fun.
Flyers on an attack. Riddick goes down, and he's able to hold the puck against his body as he denies Lane Peterson through the slot.
Well, he probably wanted the first goal back, but he just got it back with that one because that was a grade A scoring chance. Great job extending. Caught a little deep in his net, but still found a way to squeeze that arm to his leg. And actually, McWard kind of tossed that out to Peterson, but great job by Riddick there.
I mentioned David Riddick. Signed a 1-year deal back on July the 1st. A solid backup option, certainly with Semyon Varlamov still injured and likely not available for the start of this season. Varlamov is skating, he is progressing, but no definitive timeline for his return. And Matthew Darsh, the Islanders knew they needed to bring in someone as a solid backup. They still have Marcus Hogberg in the system, but David Riddick entering his 10th National Hockey League season.
Can't underestimate the importance of a solid number 2 goaltender, not only for back-to-back situations, but you never know what comes up. Goaltenders, they get hurt, and there's one.
Big open ice hit there from Marshall Warren. That sends Peterson down to the ice. He's banged up, and we'll get a whistle.
That's a big hit. It looked clean to me. It looked like you might have got a little helmet to head contact there. Just really didn't see him coming at all. It looks like he's in some difficulty.
Yep. Peterson may be bleeding as the training staff for the Flyers is out to check on him. They blow it dead just to make sure Lane Peterson is okay, and he'll head off. But certainly is feeling the effects of that Marshall Warren hit here in the first period. 5:44 to go in the first. Islanders down 1-0 here in the preseason opener.
When you need to be sure your financial data is safe, we've got your bank. When you want real-time tools to manage your money on the go and real people you can go to whenever you need them, we've got your bank. When you believe there's no greater asset than trust, we've got your bank. With top-rated cybersecurity, leading-edge online and mobile banking tools, trust Dime Community Bank to be there for you and your business. Visit dime.com to learn more. Official partner of the New York Islanders.
Beat the heat with the ReamTeam.com. Don't sweat cooling issues. Hire a Ream Pro partner today. We offer trusted service, expert installation, and the benefits of reliable Ream HVAC systems. Don't compromise on comfort. Choose the Ream Team to keep your home cool and comfortable all summer long. Enjoy the ease of our flexible financing options too. Rely on quality. Depend on the Ream Team. Visit thereamteam.com and find your pro partner and experience the difference. RHEEMteam.com.
At Northwell's Cardiovascular Institute, we don't know the meaning of untreatable or too complex. Call us determined. Stubborn, maybe. But from the city to the suburbs to the sand. As the most experienced cardiac team in the tri-state area, with the nation's highest cardiac success rates, we face what others call untreatable and say, not today. Northwell. Raise health.
Rep the aisles without saying a word. You can rep the aisles in style and gear up for game day by shopping the latest Islanders collections outside of Section 104 at the Northwell Health Ice Center Pro Shop or at ileslab.com. Just under 6 minutes to go here in the first period. Islanders trailing 1-0. Cal, just before the break, Marshall Warren with a big open ice hit. You want to make an impression in a game, especially for a Long Island native? That's how you do it.
Absolutely, and this is what we're talking about. This is the time to go out there and show people what you got. And you know, in case anybody was wondering if Marshall Warren had that in the bag, they now know that he does. And clean hit, no call on the play. Unfortunately, looks like a bit of an injury, but just a clean step up and a great open ice hit.
Lane Peterson has gone down the tunnel for the Flyers. He was the recipient of that hit from Marshall Warren. Native of Laurel Hollow, Long Island. He's got quite a few friends and family in attendance here tonight. His dad Lewis, his mom Lisa, his sister are here, living out a dream by playing here on Long Island, wearing that New York Islanders crest. We're joking during the break, Cal. My favorite part of the summer and the blue-white scrimmage at Northwell Health Ice Center was Marshall Warren had one of those major hits, but everybody booed him. The reason was because the guy he hit was Matthew Schaefer. Yeah, well, that's the guy you don't want to hit.
We were talking about it. It's the one guy you can't make an impression on. You want to make sure that Matthew gets through the first 3 days of training camp unscathed. So I'm sure the boos were warranted. I'm sure there was no intention behind it. But again, everyone's out there trying to make their own impact, and sometimes you got to be aware of who that guy is coming up the ice.
4.5 to go in the first period here. Noah Cates will bring it ahead. Advances the puck, gets it right back in over the line, drags and shoots. Save Riddick.
Paul Mary's got no skate blade.
He's trying to hobble to the bench. The referee's going to help him out. The Islanders are going to break it out just near that play. Here comes Barzell in. He's got Shabadov with him. He takes the shot himself, and it's kicked away by Kolosov. Islanders haven't had a whole lot of chances here so far in this first period. That certainly was one. Islanders with now just 3 shots on goal.
The Islanders started the period really well, I thought, and creating some opportunities. A couple just missed the mark. It's the first game of the year. You're expecting that, but I think since that nothing power play, it's really the Islanders have really kind of been on their heels and given up a couple chances. David Riddick come up with a couple big saves for them. I think before the end of the period, look for them to try and get some momentum back here. Good play by Scott Mayfield there.
Zegras to the front. Mayfield breaks it up. It's the Flyers' debut, in a sense, for Trevor Zegras after 5 years with Anaheim. Of course, he came over in a trade back in June. Ryan Poehling. Draft picks were involved in that deal. We're banking with the hit on Shabanoff. Flyers will re-enter the zone. Gurbankin dangling, lost the handle on it. Shabanov watching him as Gurbankin sends it around. Max Shabanov geometrically up the boards for Matthew Highmore. He'll cut in, drags, shoots, blocked away by Zamula. Gets right back to it, fires it to the crease. And it comes around for McMord. He'll put it back in front, a pile up, and Kolosov makes it disappear.
The Islanders need a little more of that. Just throw it at the net, crash it a little bit, spend some more time in the O-zone. It's been kind of I don't want to call it a boring period, but it's been a lot of neutral zone play and not much going on in the way of offense on either side. I think probably due to the early season execution issues and getting the timing back. But when the timing's not there, sometimes you just got to start to funnel things to the net, and then the offense starts to create itself.
The Flyers had a goal 2:42 into this game. Things have certainly settled down since. Kolosov has settled in the Flyers' crease. David Riddick has done the same on the Islanders' side. Isles are going to keep the same 5 skaters on here. Highmore moves out. Alex Jeffries, second-year forward out of Merrimack, steps to the dot. It's one back by the Flyers. Warren with a good keep. Politin gets it in behind the net. Every Islanders draft pick from this past summer who was here in training camp is playing tonight, other than goaltender Burke Hood, who's in training camp. Islanders starting David Riddick. They'll have Parker Gahagan come in for the second half of this game. Again, everyone else from that draft class who is here in training camp is on the ice tonight. That includes Tomasz Politin, the 4th-round pick back in June, and also Luca Romano wearing number 82. He was the 3rd-round pick. Good opportunity for all of these young draft picks to see some ice time and try to put themselves out in front of Islanders brass. Matthew Darsh.
You know, after having played so many years, you kind of lose touch with how important these first couple games of the preseason are for these guys who probably aren't getting a chance later in the preseason to establish themselves as a prospect for the Islanders in the future and kind of put their name on the radar. I remember when I was playing in Minnesota, back in those days, you didn't just get free exhibition games. You had to earn them, and it was really for only the prospects who really had a chance to make the team. They wanted to give you 3, 4, 5 looks. And these days, it seems like everybody kind of gets a chance. So you really want to go, like we said, not to be repetitive, but you really want to make an impression when you get a chance to go out there.
Matthew Schaefer has said several days in a row now that there's really no pressure on him. He doesn't feel nervous. He just wants to get his timing and his rhythm out there after this summer. But can't help but imagine for some of these young guys, some of these fringe guys who maybe are hoping to make this roster, that there's a little bit of pressure that you put on yourself.
There is a way to look at it that can alleviate the pressure. I think you go in with kind of a nothing-to-lose attitude. And I think if you have the mindset of, I have to do something to make this team, sometimes it leads to do an extra, and sometimes it doesn't work out as well as you'd like. For me, when I was at in that stage, I just wanted to try and I went in there going, I got nothing to lose. I'm just going to go out there and give everything I got, and we'll see where the chips fall at the end. And so that worked for me. But you know, everyone approaches it differently, and these kids definitely put a little pressure on themselves.
We're down to the final 17 seconds. As Schaefer moves it over to Mayfield, he'll return it. Flyers out shooting the Islanders 7-4. Rodrigo Abels of the Flyers with the only goal so far. Islanders with one last chance. That breaks down. Zegras heads up ice 1-on-3, and that does it for the opening 20 minutes of play tonight here at UBS Arena. So David Riddick makes 7 saves on 8 shots. Rodrigo Abels, the 29-year-old with the only goal, came in the first 3 minutes of the opening period. Matthew Schaefer and the Islanders will look to get back even early in the second. Islanders and Flyers, it's 1-0 Philly after 1. We'll take a break and have more here on NewYorkIslanders.com after this.
That was pretty close. That was pretty close.
Do we have a glue? No, like that one.
That ain't gonna happen.
You like the video.
I can't chug all that.
No, don't drink it. No.
shake the tape.
Okay, I'm done here. Okay. Okay, see you guys. I'm not getting it.
Why are you moving?
Oh, I almost had it. No.
Hey, how much time it's gotta be on top? It can be there forever.
It's gonna be it.
Oh!
Come on! I'm Bo Horvat, and I'm gonna knock this balloon into outer space. All right. No. Casey, if you get this, I'm gonna be so mad. Come on! That took me 100. Heads up. Is it only one been hit so far?
Tony, get your 60 out. That was close. Oh! That was fun.
Oh, yes, go, go, go. Yeah, I got both of them.
When you need to be sure your financial data is safe, we've got your bank. When you want real-time tools to manage your money on the go and real people you can go to whenever you need them, we've got your bank. We've got your bank. With top-rated cybersecurity, leading-edge online and mobile banking tools, trust Dime Community Bank to be there for you and your business. Visit Dime.com to learn more. Official partner of the New York Islanders.
At Northwell's Cardiovascular Institute, we don't know the meaning of untreatable or too complex. Call us determined. Stubborn, maybe. But from the city to the suburbs to the sand. As the most experienced cardiac team in the tri-state area, with the nation's highest cardiac success rates, we face what others call untreatable and say, not today. Northwell. Raise health.
We're both dealing with a lot of guilt right now.
We did something bad.
For the kids.
Right. So, you see that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe? Guess how much we paid for that?
Looks like we're out of time. Breathing exercises. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale.
Enjoy the new car.
Okay, thanks.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Santa Fe models today.
Hey everyone, Dennis Shalvack, Chief Engineer of the New York Islanders.
And I'm Bryce Vereen, Ice Operations Manager at UBS Arena.
And we're gonna make ice today.
Come join us. Put down a couple layers of water first. Then once the water is set, we'll mix our white paint and do 3 coats of our white paint, 4 boxes each. The boom's 10 foot long, and the nozzles help to give us a nice even spray. So as we're walking and spraying, we're getting a nice even coat. Then we'll go mark our grid. We'll mark for hockey markings while other people are mixing up our blue line blue, our red line red, our gold crease blue.
We'll do all the measurements, put our lines down.
And you use the paint stick to go over your lines. Everything's nice and straight, everything's centered and square, and we're good to go.
Then we'll start laying our logos out and squared off and measured out to NHL rules.
Center between the blue line and the red line.
Okay. Okay, I'm 18.
I'm 18.
Good.
Once our lines are in and our logos are in, we'll start sealing.
That's good to me.
You did it?
Yeah, looks good.
Good job. A nice light mist so that we don't have to worry about washing out our colored paint. Then we'll go in and start wetting and sealing our logos. We'll pull them with a squeegee, make sure that all the air is out so they bond really nice, and seal everything in. Once we have enough seal coats and we feel comfortable, we'll take the boom back out and we will just flood with the boom, and we'll try to get to from an inch to an inch and a quarter of ice. The center ice logo is my favorite. Once that's in, it just feels like we're complete. We're ready to go. When is the puck gonna drop?
You make good choices. Always planning ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UBS, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
I would say my favorite summer memory is spending time with my daughter and all of her cousins in Toronto. Just like a fun family weekend in the pool and getting the whole family together.
Having a baby a couple weeks ago, so it was pretty special. Kind of capped off the summer.
Took the family out to Montauk. It was a lot of fun. Went upstate New York camping. That was a lot of fun. Obviously, young kids, things changed a lot, but we had a lot of fun as a family.
Pretty much spending time with my family, being on the boat, and we welcomed our third child September 1. I don't know if that counts as summer, but yeah, no, we're really excited about that.
2 hole-in-ones and Chris Stapleton concert.
Me and the family, we met my in-laws and their whole side at the beach in Lake Michigan, and spent a nice long weekend with everyone. It was a great time.
Son was born.
I had a hole-in-one this summer.
Going to Greece and Spain with my mom and little brother. Was giving up a birth of my second son.
We left our kid with grandfather and grandmother, and we went with my wife in Turkey. It was a great time together, and we just loved to be together. So, and weather was nice, swimming a lot. I don't know, it was great.
I got a boat this summer, so probably all those nights where the lake was all flat and it was sunset, and yeah, probably one of those nights. It was unreal.
There's a chance and they score!
Long Island celebrates freedom at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This July, we're honoring the red, white, and blue with our $60,000 Patriotic Payday Drawing. Be here on Friday, July 11th, 18th, and 25th from 4 till 6:30 p.m. when one winner will be drawn every 30 minutes to win $2,500 cash. At 7 p.m., the grand prize winner will be drawn to win $5,000 cash. Club members can earn up to 5 times entry multipliers. Come to where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
Not really big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
Beat the heat with the ReamTeam.com. Don't sweat cooling issues. Hire a Ream Pro partner today. We offer trusted service, expert installation, and the benefits of reliable Ream HVAC systems. Don't compromise on comfort. Choose the Ream Team to keep your home cool and comfortable all summer long. Enjoy the ease of our flexible financing options too. Rely on quality. Depend on the Ream Team. Visit thereamteam.com and find your pro partner and experience the difference. RHEEM team.com.
Have you ever wondered how NHL teams get a full season worth of content? Well, we're about to show you in the New York Islanders Media Day behind the scenes. Media Day is a dedicated time for capturing all the photos, videos, and promotional content featuring our players that we use throughout the season. From hype videos to player intros to in-arena visuals, chances are if you see it on game day, it was probably created on Media Day. Players will start at the headshot station and then make their way to different production sets spread across the facility. We have a few different on-ice sets that each player will go through. These photo and video sets help us collect a bank of content to be used for graphics, broadcasts, and other purposes for departments all throughout the season. Next, we have our white backdrop photo station, where we capture different poses of all the players used for social media graphics and posters. Next, players will sit down with our MSG Network host, Shannon Hogan. At this next station, players will change into different Islanders merchandise looks. All these photos will be used as promotional assets for Isles Lab. This next station is focused on game presentation. Here, the guys will play different games that entertain the crowd during timeouts and media breaks in the arena. They'll also be used on social media. Bringing us to our next section of Social First Video. Stay tuned for these. It's a full day of photo and video for staff and players, but ultimately sets the tone for the season. Stay tuned to see all the Media Day content and all the fun content throughout the season.
Big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete would be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
We're both dealing with a lot of guilt right now.
We did something bad.
For the kids.
Right. See that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe? Guess how much we paid for that?
Looks like we're out of time. Breathing exercises. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale.
Enjoy the new car.
Okay, thanks.
Deals so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Santa Fe models today.
Well, gather your group of 10 or more for a night out with drinks and hockey. Add the drink package to your group offer and enjoy 3 hours of unlimited wine, beer, and seltzer. Learn more at NewYorkIslanders.com/groups or call 888-NY-ISLES for more information. We're through one period of the preseason. Islanders down 1-0. Alan Furing and Cal Clutterbuck with you. Cal, a sense of that first period, some good, some bad, maybe hard to judge a little bit, a slower pace than maybe what we're used to during the regular season.
Definitely a slower pace than what we're used to in the regular season. I thought it was a decent start by the Islanders the first 5-6 minutes. Obviously a kind of a backbreaker goal by the Flyers there early, and then the momentum seemed to kind of switch a little bit. If you're the Islanders, just kind of look to, like we said, we've got some young guys in the lineup. There's some older veterans in the lineup. I think look to the veterans to start to push the pace a little bit and allow the young guys to go out there and do their thing as well and provide that energy that's going to get the Islanders back into this game. By no means was it a horrible period. It's probably a period you would come to expect from game one of the season. Hopefully that they got their nerves out for the young guys. They got the timing back for the older guys, and we get a better hockey period here in the second.
Remember no matter what happens, if the Islanders win, there's a lot of optimism, a lot to build on. If the Islanders lose, it's only preseason. It doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter.
So
it doesn't matter.
Keep that in mind.
No, it's like I said, it's all about individuals and evaluating and pairs and lines and see what guys can do in certain situations.
The Islanders are going to start the second period with the same 5 that they began the hockey game. Mayfield and Schaefer on defense. Lee, Barzal, Palmieri up top. Drysdale with a shot, deflects into the corner for the former Duck. Here's Zegras in on goal, and a good glove save for Riddick. And then Scott Mayfield tied up out in front of the crease. Nikita Grabankin trying to answer, and those two will be separated by the linesman.
Another good chance for the Flyers to start the period there. Trevor Zegras with in tight, nice play off the cycle. Islanders get lost in coverage a little bit. You can see Scotty's tied up in front of the net. Kyle Palmieri comes down and tries to help. That's maybe one that Matthew Schaefer might have got caught out of position a little bit. And, these are the things you're watching from a young kid like that. The things he does well are obvious. They're skating up the ice, moving his feet. Actually, it looked like Anders Lee just got caught getting beat to the net. But you want to see how Matthew Schaefer plays D, how he adapts to the NHL system, and how he deals with NHL offenses, which is they're more high octane than what he's been used to facing. Heads up.
Aitchison trying to throw it out to Shabanoff. He'll get it up the boards. Drouin spun around by Barkley, and the Flyers will slow things down. Puck up into the air off D'Angelo's stick. Shabanoff around the boards. Horvat, little touch pass on towards Drouin, and then for D'Angelo, he'll shoot it deep.
The same goes for Shabanoff. He plays on the wall as a winger in the NHL. There's a lot less space out there, and the defensemen are a lot more aggressive than they can be in the KHL on Olympic ice, so it's going to be tighter windows for him. I think that's going to be his adjustment period is can he make those plays in the D zone that can spring Bo Horvat and get him into the offensive zone and allow him to use his skill down at the other end of the ice.
Islanders brought Max Siplikov over from the KHL last year, and now Shabanoff this year. Difference is Siplikov started on the fourth line, worked his way up the lineup. Shabanoff right off the top is getting Bo Horvat to his side. Good centering feed here, and that one doesn't quite go for Drouin out in front of the crease. Horn puts it in behind the net. Andre comes away with it. Lead pass for Michkov. Shabanoff with 23 goals, 67 points in 65 KHL games last year. 24 years of age. He'll turn 25 the first week of October. But by all accounts, is trying for maybe the Michigan was Michkov, blocked down.
Trying to show off for Zegras there.
And Zegras the one that maybe more so we expect that from, but Michkov trying to make a highlight reel move here early in the second period. Jennings long shot. Punched aside by Riddick. Zegras to the front off his skate right out there for Michkov. His shot doesn't go. A couple players tangled up just outside the crease. It's Matthew Highmore got his skate locked up with Spencer Gill. Shot here off the glass.
Couple great saves by Riddick here in this sequence. He's really settling in after that first one.
Gill put a shot off of an Islander. Gerbank into the point. Here's Jennings. Near side. Zegras back across. Jennings with a shot blocked out of the zone. Polatine, 4th round pick back in June. Couple of blocks there. Flyers get it back in. 3 minutes gone in the second period.
You can see how crucial the long changes in the second period. The Flyers just end up kind of wearing the Islanders down. And when you're tired, you got no energy to go around and put pressure on. It almost becomes a power play for the other team. The Flyers look like they controlled that puck. And it looks like the Islanders aren't doing it, but they're exhausted. And they got 120 feet to get to their bench. They can't change while the puck's in their zone. That's why the second periods are so crucial. Some teams are very good in the second. Some teams are not so good.
Drysdale across. Shot here by Nesbitt blocked away. Islanders trying to sneak a couple of guys off the ice. They will get McWard and Matthew Highmore off. Hobbles cross ice there. I was looking for Samu Tuamala. AHL All-Star a couple of years ago was Tuamala. Here come the Islanders in. Beremia from Barzal. Shot sails wide. Mayfield to Schaefer. Matthew Schaefer has a look. Skates around Nesbitt to the doorstep. This one kicked out to the half boards. And here's Beremiev turning on the backhand. Looking for Kyle Palmieri. Mayfield loads across. Schaefer, one-timer save, score! Kyle Palmieri on the rebound. Schaefer with the shot in off the pads of Kolosov, and the Islanders tie it at 1.
It's pucks at the net, Alan. It's pucks at the net. And Schaefer does a great job. This is what's so exciting about him. Is at the beginning of that sequence, he gets a D-to-D pass from Scott Mayfield, and instead of just kind of standing in the corner of the blue line and throwing a wrister to the net, he gets on his horse and he attacks downhill. It allows Kyle Palmieri, I think Anders Lee maybe at the time, to slide off to the back door. That doesn't work. He stays down in the right corner, keeps the play alive. He ends up on the right side, one-timer position, puts it on net. Kyle Palmieri's all alone, and it's 1-1, just like that.
Now game number 1 and point number 1 for Matthew Schaefer in the preseason. It's an assist for the 18-year-old Schaefer, and it's a goal for Kyle Palmieri. And now a tied hockey game early in the second period. Tell you what, Schaefer said coming into this game he didn't have nerves. He was ready just to get going. That's got to build the confidence, though, a little bit extra.
No doubt. And, I really do. A lot of guys I wouldn't believe that when they say they're not nervous, but for him, I really do believe that he's confident in his abilities, and he's really just looking forward to learning and getting out here and getting going. I think the summer that he had was a lot of media, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter. I think he's just excited to be able to get out there and do what he does best.
And for Kyle Palmieri, first goal of exhibition play after putting in 24 a year ago, and has now scored 20 goals or more 7 times in his NHL career.
I really like the Palmieri-Barzal combination. I think Palms is such a pure finisher. He can score goals. We've seen him score so many goals from weird angles and in front of the net. He's really good in that pocket. So if Barzy can find him throughout the year, I'd look for Palms to have a big year.
Spencer Gill right on with the blast. David Riddick moved that one to the corner. Comes right back to Gill. Cross. This one deflects away. A little wrist shot from Adam Zinning. Here's Noah Cates. The end of the corner for Garnett Hathaway. Given a rough ride by Shabanoff. D'Angelo into some open space. Drouin, plenty of ice to work with. He'll send it across. Shabanoff quickly and over the line. Back to Drouin. Skate to stick. Right back through. And it was behind a couple of Islanders players. And hear the roar of the crowd in the background as they announce the assists. Mayfield and the primary assist to Matthew Schaefer on the Kyle Palmieri game-tying goal. Flyers get it in behind the net, and then it's stolen away. Schaefer up the wall. Barzal trying to track it down. He's cut off by Zegras. And then Drysdale right back ahead. Michkov gets it through. Zegras slowed by Schaefer out in front of the net. And here's Zegras again. Drag shoots, trying to go top right corner, and it's snared down by David Riddick. 13.5 to go in the second period. Islanders tie it up on a Kyle Palmieri goal. It's 1-1 here at UBS Arena.
We're both dealing with a lot of guilt right now.
We did something bad.
For the kids.
Right. You see that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe? Guess how much we paid for that?
Looks like we're out of time. Breathing exercises. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale.
Enjoy the new car.
Okay, thanks.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Santa Fe models today.
Beat the heat with the ReamTeam.com. Don't sweat cooling issues. Hire a Ream Pro partner today. We offer trusted service, expert installation, and the benefits of reliable Ream HVAC systems. Don't compromise on comfort. Choose the Ream Team to keep your home cool and comfortable all summer long. Enjoy the ease of our flexible financing options too. Rely on quality. Depend on the Ream Team. Visit thereamteam.com and find your pro partner and experience the difference. RHEEM team.com.
Gather your group of 10 or more for a night out with drinks and hockey. You can add the drink package to your group ticket offer and enjoy 3 hours of unlimited wine, beer, and seltzer. Learn more now by calling 888-NY-ISLES or reaching out to NewYorkIslanders.com/groups. Well, we're 13 and a half to go in the second period. Islanders on a Kyle Palmieri goal have tied it. The Islanders looking for the first lead of the preseason. Matthew Schaefer, Scott Mayfield with the assists on the goal just a few minutes ago here in the second. Islanders will face the Flyers again in the preseason. That will be in Philly, as here's a shot from the far side blocked away. 6 preseason games overall, 3 at home. Next one not until against New Jersey late next week. They'll round off the home portion of the preseason slate Monday, September the 29th against the New York Rangers. As here is Bo Horvat in. Drops it off for Drouin. Delays. Leaves it for Cole McWard. He fires one right on. That's blocked off the glass.
A couple good chances from the Islanders using that delay and allowing the Flyers to back check, get the puck up to the top, get some people in front of the net. Drouin had a chance earlier. It's kind of what you got to do. This is what you want to see from a line like this. You want to see them spread the ice, use the 5 guys, pin the Flyers in their own zone. Better couple shifts from Shabanov, and it looks like he's getting settled in. Looks like a potential breakaway here, but
got jumbled up at the line. Alex Jeffries couldn't hold the blue line, and so the play is offside.
That's what you're looking for. You're looking for some kind of chemistry, some kind of offensive ability to be able to put together these shifts that can create not only chances but confusion and possession and the feeling like you said, it's the second period, it's a long change. You want to keep the Flyers in there as long as you can, maybe cycle through a line or two, wear them down. Over the course of long seasons and games, that's how you end up winning more games than you do losing. It's called tilting the ice.
Islanders got the better of these two teams last year against the Flyers. Take on Philly right near the start of this season. October the 25th in Philadelphia will be the first meeting. Islanders will start this season, though, with 5 of their first 7 games at home. They'll play 8 of their first 14 at home as well, and then they'll go on a 7-game road trip that hit stops like Vegas and Salt Lake City. Hell, it's funny, the longest road trip in the NHL this season is 7 games. No team has a longer trip than 7. The Islanders have 2 of those. It begins right away as this loose puck to the stick of Giroux, and he couldn't elevate it in time.
Those long trips, sometimes you want them to get them out of the way early in the year. You know, you want to get on the road with the guys, get the group that you've got together that year to spend a lot of time together, get used to it. And the other tough thing is sometimes when you play a lot of home games early, if you don't get off to the start that you necessarily want to, that Thanksgiving mark comes up quickly where a lot of teams that are in a playoff position are going to stay there. And obviously in the new NHL, those last 2 playoff spots are always up for grabs, but you don't want to fall into a hole too early, and you want to make sure that you're really prepared for those 5 or 6 home games you've got to start the year.
They'll hit another 7-game road trip in January that spans about 2.5 weeks. It's Kayshawn Aitchison out high. Jeffries with his shot. Blocked down between the circles. And it's moved up and out of the zone by Gendron. By the way, Lane Peterson, who took a nasty hit in the neutral zone from Marshall Warren. A clean hit, though. No penalty called on the play. He went down the tunnel and has not returned. So the Flyers still playing a man down as the Islanders ice the puck. And Lane Peterson, who signed a one-year deal with Philly back on July the 1st. He hasn't played in the NHL since the 2021 through 22 campaign. Only played 18 games total last year in the AHL with Bakersfield. He had shoulder surgery in the middle of the year, did not return from that, season-ending surgery, and so a tough start for Lane Peterson, a young Flyers forward who's injured here in the first period, or was on a Marshall Warren hit, and has not returned. That's the part of the preseason you don't want to see on either side.
That's exactly right. That's the one thing you do get nervous as a veteran player, is you don't want a fluky play to happen, or you don't want to have a young guy who's full of energy kind of catch you in a weird spot, and it's always on your mind. So there's a little reservation that comes from the veteran players in these games, just to make sure that they're getting through. But I always found the best way to do it is to go out and be yourself and try and be the aggressor and really take those opportunities away from the Flyers or whoever you were playing at the time. I found the more aggressive I was, the more cohesive the game was for me. So I played a couple games where I was just trying to get through them, and they never work out as well as they do when you're in and fully committed.
Michkov to the net, opening up shot. Zingras blocked down. Good save there, and the puck up the far wall. Zamula over for Gill. And Gill shoots it wide intentionally, gets the kick off the wall. Penalty coming up here. That may be on Schaefer. Delayed call against the Islanders. Gill with his shot. That one changed directions and on Riddick. Touched up by Lee, and for the first time tonight, Philadelphia will have a power play, and on the other side, we'll see the Islanders kill.
Schaefer just gets a little wrapped up here in the corner. Gets his hand on
New York Islanders penalty number 48. 2 minutes for holding.
Holding on Schaefer. Islanders to the penalty kill when we return. 9:15 to go in the second. Still tied 1-1.
You make good choices. Always planning ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UBS, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
Remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
The New York Islanders are proud to partner with the W2 Foundation as its Hockey with the Heart charity partner. You can support their mission to foster educational and intellectual advancement for deserving students through scholarships and to promote social responsibility through athletics by purchasing a 50-50 raffle ticket. Enter now for your chance to win half the pot by betting big. The raffle ends on October 11th at the Islanders home opener. Get your raffle tickets now at IslandersShop5050.com. The Islanders are on the penalty kill. Matthew Schaefer in the box for holding. And for now, both Kolosov of the Flyers and Islanders' David Riddick remain in the net. That's a good takeaway here for Alex Jeffries. He's up ice short-handed, drops it for Highmore, rolled over to his left, and then lost the handle on it.
Another opportunity to see the other side of the coin on the special team side for the Islanders. Another area they can improve on, although the second half of the season was much better for them on the kill last year. Still something they need to improve. The first half of the season was not very good, and I think it really cost them a lot of wins early in the season last year, which ultimately, I think cost them a playoff spot. I think this team's good enough to make the playoffs. Their special teams have to get better.
Back door for Zamula, but intercepted by Palmieri. He's up ice. He's got Jeffries with him. Palmieri, Jeffries on goal. Save Kolosov. Jeffries hustling up ice, had the look, and Palmieri found him, just couldn't get it through for the goal.
Great job taking away the seam in the D zone, and sometimes when you do that well, the power play's got 4 guys below you, and you can take off and have a 2-on-1. We saw Simon Holmstrom and J.G. Pajot feast on teams last year on the penalty kill.
There's Drysdale. Well, too much mustard on that one. Put it through Michkov. 30 seconds to go on the power play for Philadelphia. Zegras across. Michkov finesses it in front, hoping for Grabenkin. Rode up off of a stick, and the Flyers will set back up. Drysdale with a shot. That one is melted down by Riddick. Yeah, the Islanders were 31st on the kill last year as well, but just like the power play, the penalty kill is run by someone new, as the Islanders hired assistant coach Bob Bugner. And his job start the preseason 1-for-1. 16 seconds to go here.
I spent a lot of time killing penalties in my career, Alan, and it's not necessarily always the system. There are a couple systems that we did play at certain times. I mentioned when the Islanders were on the power play, you've got 2-on-1s all over the ice, and it's how you play those 2-on-1s defensively that decides whether you're going to be a successful kill or not.
Schaefer out of the box. Drysdale for Zegras. Flips it high and wide. And it comes out of the zone. Look out here. It's Horvat. It's a 2-on-0. Horvat, Schaefer, and he fans on it as Drysdale reached his stick across. Horvat with the unselfish play, looking for Schaefer. Here's Aitchison, drags and shoots. Save Kolosov. Rebound there for Horvat. And the Flyers breathe a sigh of relief.
Pretty amazing burst by both guys. Up with it, I think he realized it was Schaefer, and he tried to slide it over there, but obviously unselfish play, but the speed on both those guys was pretty impressive. It looked like kind of a nothing play, and next thing you know, you got a 2-on-0.
Of him, here's another look at the 2-on-0.
Yeah, it's a great defensive play by the Flyer, Jamie Drysdale, but look at the speed on both these guys. Just trying to decide who's going to grab that puck. Sometimes a breakaway is easier than a 2-on-0, Alan. I think the 2-on-0s, I always would rather just be on a breakaway, knowing that it's me and the goaltender. 2-on-0s are difficult.
Great play by Drysdale to reach that stick across and take the passing lane away from Matthew Schaefer. That certainly got the crowd on their feet, though.
It sure did. Some speed, some excitement in a game that's been a little bit slow at times, but when a couple guys start galloping up the ice, this is an example of Matt Barzal. Let's see what he can do with it. You're looking for him off the rush.
Barzal drags, fancy move to the back post, is looking for Anders Lee. It started as a 3-on-2. It's got Marshall Ward instead, looked to find Lee. Hops away from him and is cleared out of the zone by Obels. 5:45 to go here in the second. Tied up 1-1 as Anders Lee brings it in slowly, hits the brakes. Isles make changes behind him. Hunter Drew steps onto the ice, almost gave it up. Hunter Drew coming over from the Utah organization. Played with Tucson of the American Hockey League last year. Likely be in Bridgeport of the AHL this season. Jennings shoots for the Flyers. Kolosov stays in net, but it is now Parker Gahagen in net for the Islanders as this puck goes out of play. Gahagen, the 32-year-old, in his 8th professional season with Bridgeport for the upcoming season. Puck went up and out of play, and a face-off back in.
I think they're trying to decide if it went straight out or not. It looks like they're calling it, yeah.
Initially, the referee said delay of game. They will.
New York, number 48, 2 minutes, delay game.
They will assess the penalty to Matthew Schaefer.
We don't know the meaning of untreatable or
call us determined. Stubborn, maybe. But from the city to the suburbs to the sand, others call untreatable and say, not today. Northwell. Raise health.
Rep the Isles without saying a word. You can rep them in style as well by gearing up for game day, shopping the latest Islanders collections outside of Section 104 here at UBS Arena at the Northwell Health Ice Center Pro Shop or at islslab.com. Islanders back on the kill for the second time in the second period. Delay of game on Matthew Schaefer. And right after the face-off, we'll get a whistle and another penalty coming up, this time for holding. It's on the Flyers.
Didn't get a great look at that, but it looked like Highmore's stick got caught up in Zegras' equipment.
Now holding the stick on Trevor Zegras. And so the Islanders' penalty kill lasts less than a handful of seconds.
Initially, I thought it just got stuck in his jersey. Zegras was selling that point, but it did look like he had a pretty good hold on Highmore's stick there. Good call. Good eyes.
So the ice will be more open than it's been all night. 4-on-4 hockey for nearly the full 2 minutes.
Kind of what you want in an exhibition game. You want to have all scenarios. You want to be able to cycle through the things you've been working on the last 3-4 days and see what you got. And like you said, see what guys fit in certain situations. I think this favors the Islanders in their lineup today, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Aitchison let a one-timer go, deflected away. Aitchison, Horvat, Drouin, and D'Angelo. The four out there for the Isles. Jamie Drysdale takes it for a skate behind the net, curls around. As he pops open, he looks for a teammate at the line and comes just out of the reach of Zamula. Drysdale back in. The former Duck shoots one it off Gehagen. One hit him and bounced out towards the corner. Drysdale. Yegor Zamula. He'll hand it off. And then losing the puck, Matvei Michkov. Aitchison up ice from Drouin. And he'll just push it in softly. So 46 seconds of 4-on-4 to go as the Islanders get Palmieri, Barzal on with Warren and Mayfield. Matthew Schaefer continues to sit in the box for the Islanders. It's Zegras for the Flyers. Noah Cates in over the line with speed. Cuts back. Shot just to go far side. Put it wide of the net right against the ice.
That's that same gap I was talking about with Schaefer earlier in the game. You can see Warren back off just a little more. We got a 2-on-1 here developing.
And Barzal has Marshall Warren, gets it to him. Warren shoots, scores! The Long Island kid in his first game at UBS Arena has a go-ahead goal, and it's 2-1 New York.
Pretty cool moment for Warren. A great play. I was just talking about breaking up a play at the top of the circles, maybe versus the blue line, and lo and behold, a big hit in the first period, and then a 2-on-1 finish. Great play by Barzy. He's great at this 2-on-1 play. Under the stick, over to the other side. Warren's got half the net to shoot at. He makes no mistake. It's got to be a thrill for him in front of his friends and family at home to bury one 4-on-4 here and put the Owls up 2-1.
Said he wasn't quite sure how many friends or family would show up tonight. A lot of it word of mouth last minute, but He knows his parents and his sister are here. This is the first time wearing the Islanders crest on Long Island. We're still looking to make his NHL debut during the regular season. Marshall Warren made the trip to Philadelphia during exhibition play last year, but Patrick Waugh didn't put him in the game. As the Flyers look to answer, penalty coming up here, said he wanted him to get a taste of NHL action, but this is the first time he's playing in a New York sweater, and not only do you score, but you get set up by Matt Barzal to give your team a 2-1 lead.
And a big hit in the first period, talking about kids making an impact. I think when
New York,
the coaching
number 37, 2 minutes, holding.
I think when the coaching staff and the general manager and the staff go home tonight, that's going to be a name that's going to be bouncing around in their heads. He's made an impact on the game, and he's still got a full period to go. And as long as he can keep going, this is the type of stuff that you really want to do as a young guy when you do get your opportunity, especially at home. That's a bonus in front of friends and family. But it's a great job. He's done a great job tonight so far.
A penalty here on the Islanders. Aegis into the box, and it's the third Philadelphia power play of this second period. It's a period that the Islanders have not only tied the game, but now have taken the lead. Looking to hold it here as Michkov sets up at the goal line. Has a catch with Drysdale. Michkov curls and waits. Has a look. Drysdale wound up and ready at the point. Puck gets to him, and he'll settle it down out in front of Matthew Highmore. Michkov, tough angle shot. Comes back his way. Zegras out high. Drysdale near side, and breaking the stick in half on that chance was Grabankin. This one off the side of the post. Michkov to the middle. Highmore trying to find it between his skates. Puck comes up to the blue line, just barely crosses out in front of Drysdale, and then Horvat nearly picked his pocket. Now Horvat does get it, but he was flat-footed.
Pretty good job by the Islanders so far on this kill. Really keeping the Flyers to the outside. Making sure to take the middle of the ice away, take those seams away.
Andre for Zegras. A touch pass into the crease from Grabankin. That one's gloved down in hell. Now for the second time in this game, Grabankin and Mayfield get locked up.
You can see the aggression that Scotty's playing with tonight. I really like it. I think he's at his best when he's aggressive and he's mean out there. A couple cross checks, a couple finishes. As they announce Marshall Warren's goal in the building to a big applause.
He's trying not to smile.
Yeah,
trying to play it cool.
Trying to play it cool. Trying to act like he's been there before, but he hasn't, so might as well enjoy it.
You brought up an interesting point, Cal. You know, for some of these guys who probably assume that, you know, they're here for a taste of preseason hockey and then going to either the American Hockey League, the ECHL, juniors, wherever it is, like, for certain guys, you want to make sure that you make an impression because you want to be that first guy called up. In the case of someone who's going to start the season in Bridgeport, you know, Marshall Warren, one of those guys, you know, he may get, you know, sent to Bridgeport. I'm sure that's what he's expecting, but you want to be that guy that the coaches think of first and that Matthew Darsh thinks of first when a defenseman is needed.
And then when you go down there on top of that, you've got the brass from up here telling the brass down there that they want to see him in certain situations. They want to see you can almost increase your opportunity down there. Move yourself up that ladder, like you said. Become one of those names that's the top of the list when someone inevitably goes down at the high level. And, you know, you really want to be one of those guys that's in the conversation. And even if it's not this year, you come back to training camp and you can continue to build on it. And that's how you become a full-time NHLer, especially for these guys who aren't first or second-round picks. You know, it takes years, especially for defensemen. So you really want to just continue to have good showings. You want to be the guy that doesn't go away, and eventually you'll find yourself in the NHL and hopefully a full-timer.
Marshall Warren, one of those guys, undrafted, played 5 collegiate seasons, former BC captain, and now in the second year of a 2-year entry-level contract. He's got that go-ahead goal. Islanders finishing up the second period here on the kill. 5 seconds to go on the PK. They're going to keep it in the offensive zone. And here comes Aitchison out of the box. Islanders penalty kill 3 for 3 here in the second period and for the game.
And it's looked good at not really giving up many high grade chances, and clearing the puck when they get the chance and doing a good job on the forecheck to make sure that the Flyers don't spend the full 2 minutes in their zone. I thought they've looked pretty sharp.
Credit to Bob Bugner, and who now controls this Islanders penalty kill. Here's Spencer Gill with 14 to go in the period. Stretch pass ahead. Trying to lean in is Cates. Kept to the outside by McWard. Drouin lost his stick. And the puck in his skates found Barzal. 2, now 1. And Shabanov moves ahead. The second period comes to a close. The Islanders scored twice in the second and have taken a 2-1 lead. So the third period coming up in a bit, but first our second intermission report will have a more in-depth look at the Islanders offseason. A great job by our video production crew putting together the docu-series on the island, and we'll take a look at that and have more, plus the third period coming up in a bit as the Islanders look to lock this one down against the Flyers in preseason game number 1. It's 2-1 New York after 40 minutes.
He's more of a tempered player. He's more of a two-way player at both ends. He's going to kill penalties. He's going to be responsible in his own end. Which one do you want? You know, that would be the conversation we'd have.
We picked first, so we knew we could pick any player. But after that, you never know which players are available. So you draw your list. Most of these guys haven't seen play during the year. So that's why I believe you hire good people, let them do their job. So the scouting team did a great job. We put a list together.
I'm going to ask you like the list from 1 to 100, and then I'll sit with you and I'll break it off. All right, these are the A's, these are the... And then within that one, like, how do we rank them against each other? That's my question.
And you'll be amazed that when you get to your pick, there's 3 guys left in the one category. We're coming up on our pick, and so it's a forward and 2 defensemen.
Yeah, you put 100 names, there's
I'll have a list here. Here's the order of the 3.
Yeah.
And
like there's 200 picks in the draft, we'll have the list 100 and we'll still have guys on our list.
Yes. Yeah. And we got 135 guys, 134.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're discussing things and considering things and hashing things out, but at the end of the day, we gave him the information he needed to make the decisions. I felt comfortable. I felt I was able to do my job. We all did as the amateur scouts, and I think, you know, it really came together well for all of us, so we're really happy.
They made a trade. As they trade Noah Dobson to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for a couple of first-round draft picks.
You have a plan when you go to July 1st. We had a bunch of restricted free agents. I was hoping to sign every one of them, but in our job, you have to be nimble. You have to be able to adjust. And unfortunately, we couldn't come to terms. And then it turned to, well, let's talk to teams and see if there's something to be done there. And then obviously that took a lot of time over a 2-week period. And then we got the deal done. You make a plan, but you have to, because things happen in our industry. Whether you don't see it the same way, then you have to be able to pivot and make the best out of the situation for your organization. Like I said before, every decision I'll make is not to make myself look good or to make anybody else look good. It's always going to be in the best interest of the New York Islanders. And at that point, that's what I felt the decision was. And there was never animosity. It's a business, right? We negotiated, we can get to a deal. Let's make the best of the situation where he wanted to go, what I wanted as far as return. And I think both sides were happy at the end, and that's why I said you have to be able to be nimble and adjust.
Are you guys ready? Because we are getting closer and closer to the start of this NHL draft coverage.
We'll draft the best player available, and that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're really excited about the player we're going to pick. I won't tell you. All I can say is we'll get a really good player.
Matthew Darche going to be making the first pick for the New York Islanders. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
It looks like you guys got
been a few years where we haven't had first-round picks, so you know, you go out and you spend all those nights on the road watching these good players, and it certainly was extremely exciting to actually be able to pick some of those guys you really want.
The first selection in the 2025 Upper Deck NHL Draft belongs to the New York Islanders.
And the clock ticks for the Isles to make their selection.
When you go to the draft, you think of it your whole life, you want to get drafted. You know, a lot of nerves, the emotions you get when you're waiting, you know, you don't know what's going to happen.
When you have somebody that's going through it and kind of the level, the stature that's going into that and where he could possibly go was crazy.
Here's the commissioner, Gary Bettman, once again.
25 NHL Draft. The New York Islanders are proud to select from the Erie Otters, Matthew Schaefer.
Most answer at the age of 56, 16 months ago in February of 2024 after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. Matthew was just 16. We talk about the emotions of his night. They're overjoyed.
A special moment for everyone, for the fans watching it. I know there was a lot of attention towards it.
Obviously, it's such a high-class organization, and you can see, I mean, they put a ribbon on it, they put my mom's initials, and, you know, family and my mom. When they do things like this, it goes a long way, and it means so much to me and my family.
Everybody in our room was a bit emotional. There was raw emotions. After I spoke with him, I got some texts from people on other teams that said, I don't know you did it, because we all have tears in our eyes in our room. So it was a nice moment.
Thanks, Matty. I appreciate it.
Excited to have you here, Matthew. We can't wait to see you tomorrow. It's a great day in the Island organization.
You know, taking a chance on me. Promise I won't disappoint, but especially just want to say to my mom and, you know, all my family and friends, thanks for everything, but especially you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, we can't wait to see you, Matty. Enjoy the day.
Hey, Misley, how you doing?
Haha, Matthew, there he is.
How you
What's
doing?
going on?
Not
I'm
so
great.
much. I mean, pretty crazy. A lot of tears got to me tonight for sure, but it's pretty cool.
I love it, brother.
Oh, how we doing?
Hey, Matthew, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the organization. We're excited to have you. Can't wait to catch up and meet you.
Matty, what's up, you stud? Congrats, dude. I'm so happy to have you aboard, man.
Thank you. I can't wait.
We're gonna be dancing out there.
Yeah.
What's the last couple days been like?
Meetings, media, you know, getting ready, camera crews, basically just go. You know, hearing your name called, it's pretty cool. Maybe when I think back to the draft, I think, wow, did this really happen? But draft's over, and then, you know, you put your work boots on and get to work. I heard the arena's sweet.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it.
For me now, I got 2 other first-round picks. You want to package something and get something else with those picks. You know, obviously my job is always to do my due diligence and talk to teams, talk to other GMs. Swings away.
He knows who you want to take, obviously. There it is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bye. They're taking the pick.
The Boston Bruins select from Boston College.
Well, we'll pick in at 16.
This kid right here, Tishon Atchison, I've never been more sure of a comp as Ed Jovanovski. I've never seen anyone in my 17 years of scouting that can have open ice hits like him.
Aitchison just hammered Michael Misa.
Okay, so he's in that cluster. That's the.
He's in that cluster. I'm like, at some point here, I'm not saying we have to. I mean, he has something that you can't teach, and he has something different than anybody else.
All right, if he's there, we'll take him. I doubt he'll be there, but
As amateur scouts, we're sitting there waiting to see who we think might be there and available to us. And of course, we need to know who every other team is going to pick.
right now we have 2 guys in our top 12. If they're both there, we'll take those 2 guys. Okay.
We're preparing for every situation. So are we going to pick 16 and trade 17 and move back? We were going through all those scenarios.
Hey, Trotty. I want to be challenged in my decision making. The same thing where I was standing there. Are we sure we want them? Because I could move something and get these guys, like we had them, and I saw the list. We had them higher. So it's just for me to challenge their thinking and to make sure that hey, we're sure about these guys. 3 people with offers, but right now, depending on who goes, we might. If not, I have something that I'm only moving back a few spots and I get something else. But what do you have in mind?
But when it came right down to it, we had a couple kids that we had identified that were higher on our list.
Both of these guys. We walk out with both of those guys. I'm doing freaking cartwheels.
You said it. If we walk out with
Eklund and Atchison.
Eklund and Atchison, he's doing cartwheels.
Roll wheels.
I want you to do it in front of the camera when you talk to the kid.
With the 15th selection in the 2025 NHL Draft, the Vancouver Canucks are proud to select from the Seattle Thunderbirds.
Someone not trading?
Nope. No.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
You sure?
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. If these 2 guys fall to us at 16 and 17, I mean, I was so excited. I'm like, I'll do cartwheels right out of here. It'll be a great night for us. So, of course, once we picked them both, everyone wanted me to, come through on my end of the bet.
Where's the cartwheel? Yeah.
16th overall selection in the 2025 NHL Draft, the New York Islanders are proud to select from Djurgården, Victor Eklund. With the 17th overall selection, the New York Islanders are proud to select from the Barrie Colts, Keyshawn Aitchison.
It was a super surreal moment, unbelievable. I can't believe it happened. Obviously, picked by such a great organization. We're just so excited.
The biggest thing is the team and the organization, and I feel like New York Islanders is a very, very good organization.
Getting drafted is just the first step because I'm of the mentality, whether you're drafted or you're a free agent from college or junior, I don't care where you come from. It's what you do moving forward. So those kids have all the opportunity. We're going to give them the resources. The draft is just a way you're getting to a team, whether you're getting to a team in the 1st round or the 7th round or as a free agent. At the end of the day, it's just, all right, now you're with the New York Islanders, but what you do next is going to dictate if you play in the NHL.
At Northwell's Cardiovascular Institute, we don't know the meaning of untreatable or too complex. Call us determined. Stubborn, maybe. But from the city to the suburbs to the sand. As the most experienced cardiac team in the tri-state area, with the nation's highest cardiac success rates, we face what others call untreatable and say, not today. Northwell. Raise health.
You make good choices. Always planning ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day, follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UBS, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
Not really big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the 1st episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
The NHL season is right around the corner. The preseason is here. Islanders opening it up tonight here against the Philadelphia Flyers. And so far, all is well. Islanders up 2-1 heading into the third period. Islanders giving up a goal in the first, but bounced back with 2 in the second. A little bit of everything in that second period as well. As we welcome Cal Clutterbuck back to the booth. Cal, we had some physicality there from Scott Mayfield. We saw David Riddick with some key saves and even a couple of goals for the New York Islanders.
Yeah, I think the Islanders kind of turned up the heat in the second half of that period. The Flyers, I think, carried the momentum. You could see Scott Mayfield early in this package getting involved physically. You love to see that out of Scotty. I think he's a much more effective player when he does that. Getting involved offensively, just knowing what to do, giving the puck to the first overall pick. The Islanders start funneling pucks at the net. They end up with 12 shots in the period versus 5 in the first. And just like that, they found themselves with a 2-1 lead, and I feel like they've got the momentum back in the game. More special team situations, a couple 2-on-1 chances, rush chances, some more sustained O-zone time from the Islanders. I thought they did a really good job of finding their footing there in that period. I expected them to I expected it to take about a period and a half, and that's where it is. And then the hometown boy puts one in front of his friends and family in his first NHL preseason game at home. Such a thrill, great play by Barzy. Look, I'm looking for the Islanders to keep this going in this third period. I think even turn it up a notch. You've got a Flyers team that's very rookie heavy, and you've got essentially your top 2 lines and one of your top defense pair out here. I look for the Islanders to put a couple back here this period.
Islanders penalty kill went 3 for 3 as well in that second period. Goals from Kyle Palmieri and Marshall Warren. Both starting goaltenders are now on the bench. The Islanders put Parker Gahagen in net late in the second period. And now to start the third, the Philadelphia Flyers will relieve Alexei Kolosov with Carson Bjornsson, 20-year-old and a rookie. Spent the last 4 seasons in the Western Hockey League. So Islanders up 2-1 after 2. Matt Barzal and company on the ice here to kick off the third period.
You know what, Alan? I thought David Riddick did a great job. He let in a soft goal in the first shot of the game and really did a great job bouncing back. Made 4 or 5 really, really nice saves, high danger chances. So it's a good sign that he was able to shake that first one off and really have a solid performance overall.
Third period is a go. Schaefer gets it in deep. Zamula, quick little backhand pass to Zegras. Drops it for Michkov, and then here's Drysdale. Slowed by Schaefer. He'll get it deep. Gahagen comes out. Gahagen actually coming over from the Philly organization. Spent the last couple of years, parts of it, with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms of the AHL, the Philadelphia farm team. Keishon Aitchison. Shabanoff quickly behind the net. 5'9" is Max Shabanoff. But he has quite the shot. He is one of the fastest players on the ice. No doubt a top 9 forward for sure. Likely a top 6 and maybe even a top line forward for the New York Islanders this upcoming season. We will wait and see. As here's a centering pass. Fanning on it was Shabanoff. Right there out in front. He had Noah Cates to deal with, and Cates will gain the red line and send it in.
Great play by Horvat out of the corner. Kind of a no-look sling pass to the slot, and Shabanov didn't get the chance to get that elite shot off, but he's able to block one. He's going to have another chance here on a 3-on-2.
Shabanov brings it in over the line, has Horvat. Curls away from Juleson. McWard over for Warren. He'll shuffle it to the blue paint. Comes up off the glass.
That play right there is indicative of the new wave NHL. The 3-on-2s are no longer 3-on-2s. Everybody back checks so hard, eliminates the initial rush. It's that sort of stop up, turn up, find the second wave that really creates more offense than anything else these days in the NHL. It's a good job by the Islanders there.
Polatine down low. Puck centered. Jeffries gets it back. Warren from distance. Couldn't get it through as Gill and Polatine battled out front. One chopped out of the zone. McWard back on it. Has Warren. On for Jeffries. Polatine. Out of Czechia trying to chase it down. He's taken to the corner boards by Ginning. And hobbles as Highmore went falling over.
This Highmore line's had a couple good shifts this game. Pretty good. 3 guys who work pretty hard, seem to be pretty aggressive on the forecheck, and they've created a couple chances for themselves.
Polatine drags it back. Gendron went down to a knee. This one settled down by Zamula, trying to spring Gendron, missed him, and so it'll go for icing. You know, Matthew Highmore's an interesting case for me, someone who's trying to crack the Islanders lineup. He's got plenty of NHL experience on his resume already, and he's kind of a fringe guy who could make the team, and if he doesn't, he could be that first call-up if the Islanders need a forward.
Well, the beauty of the Islanders is that they've got some depth in that bottom 6 spot. Now you've got guys fighting for space down there, and obviously for a number of years we had that covered. But, you know, it's an important part of the lineup and really a part of the lineup that sometimes gets overlooked. You want to be able to have 3 or 4 guys that you can put out there for more than just a couple minutes to eat up some clock. You want to have them be part of your attack and part of your team, and so that you go over the course of an 82-game season and you don't have to tax your top guys too much, and you can really roll 4 lines when you're feeling well. So very important to have a solid kind of bottom 6, and obviously with J.G. Pajot probably slotted in the third-line center spot. The Islanders have some depth. I mean, this is a lineup, the forward group has a lot of depth, so really looking forward to seeing how that competition shakes out. It's always good to have competition at any point in the lineup, but especially for those last 3, 4, 5 spots.
Romano, Hunter Drew, and Gleb Veremyev. Fourth line here tonight for the Isles. Romano chased out of the face-off, and so Veremyev steps in. Won that one back to Hunter Drew, shot it wide. Veremyev, another guy who is hoping to make the New York Islanders roster at some point this season. Highly sought-after free agent. Signed an ATO with Bridgeport and then a contract with the New York Islanders for a couple of years last year. The Flyers come in front. Good save there for Gehagen. A lot of teams were after Gleb Veremyev. Decided on the Islanders as Lou Lamoriello presented an opportunity for him, and really that was the reason why he came to Long Island, is the opportunity that was given for him, and we'll see how that transpires this season. As Schaefer's up ice with speed, had Barzal, was looking for him, cut off by Juleson.
Yeah, and it's funny, an abnormal summer for the Islanders has created probably a lot more competition for that spot.
There's Lee on a turnover, had Barzal, and his shot's kicked away.
That Veremyev was eyeing, but again, it's up to you to come out in training camp and really force the issue.
Barzal right on, and another good pad save. Bjarnason tested a couple of times by Barzal. There's looking for a pass from Palmieri. Got behind him, and so the Flyers will open up a little space in their own zone. We're going to get some fresh legs on as well.
You can see the kind of confusion that shooting the puck generates for any D-zone coverage, not just the Philadelphia Flyers, but the rebounds are out there, they're available, and just like that, you get the Flyers stretched out running around.
Ginning wrister, no problem there for Parker Gehagen. Nearly 5 minutes gone here in this third period. A couple of chances for Barzal and the Islanders. How about this one right on?
It's a great save, and again, it just comes from kind of a puck thrown at the net. The Flyers are all trying to leave the zone. Another good save there for the Islanders, but it really it is about creating confusion, and when you don't create that much confusion, you don't get that many chances.
Drouin finds McWard. He's up ice. Makes a couple of skaters miss. And now Bo Horvat sprays the snow, plays it to the middle. Gets it back from Shabanov. Shabanov cycles it around the boards. Talked a lot about Max Shabanov already, another player who was sought after by several organizations. Rister here gets through for McWard. In fact, the quote-unquote finalists, if you will, were the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Islanders won the Shabanov sweepstakes. And so now, of course, in preseason game number 1, he gets to take on one of those teams that was battling for him in the Flyers. Probably helps the Islanders, though. They have so many Russian players already on the team. I'm sure that makes Shabanov feel comfortable and right at home right away.
It does help. It seems to help. You bring in Varlamov first, and then Ilya Sorokin comes over, and then you've got Alex Romanov, and they obviously speak to each other, and they're friendly with each other. It definitely helps to have someone who speaks the native tongue give you their experience in a place when you're trying to make a decision from halfway across the world.
Anders Lee cruising in. You've got Romanov, Varlamov, Shabanov. I asked him this morning, how do you pronounce the name Shabanov? It's the correct way. He prefers Max. You've got Max Siplikov and Max Shabanov.
Sippy and Shabby.
I would imagine that's his nickname, right?
You would
Shabby?
think. You would think. I'm sure they'll come up with something a little more original at some point during the year.
First game, we're in an Islanders sweater for Shabanov, playing alongside of Drouin and Horvat. Third line on right now, Highmore, Politin, and Jeffries. Aitchison and D'Angelo back defensively. Shot here covered up easily by Gehagen. Not a whole lot going on so far in the third period. Both goaltenders have been tested and have made saves. It's still 2-1 Isles with 13.5 to go in the third.
You make good choices. Always planning ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UBS, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
Season ticket members get access to exclusive events like the upcoming FanFest Barbecue on September 28th. Hang out, eat barbecue, and play lawn games with your favorite Islanders. Your last chance to get in on the barbecue is coming up. Sign up to become a season ticket member by September 27th. To lock in your invite by calling 888-NY-ISLES or reaching out to NewYorkIslanders.com/membership. Alan Furing and Cal Clutterbuck with you from UBS Arena. 13.5 to go in the third of preseason game number 1. The Islanders likely will have a much different lineup in Newark on Tuesday, their next preseason game, coming up against the Devils. Here's Horvat. Couldn't get an initial shot through, and then did. And Schaefer's on the puck out of the zone, or rather Shabanov, excuse me.
Nice little display of speed, beating out that icing by Shabnov, and a nice little play to Bo Horvat in the slot. Starting to find his footing a little bit, I think, here.
A flashy move right there. Gets to the side of the crease, covered up by Bjornsson.
Not always easy coming in. It's a different game when you play on a large sheet of ice. On an Olympic sheet, you just have more space. It's more about getting to the interior, the illusion of having the puck for longer periods of time. It always takes a little bit of an adjustment. And for Siplikov, in comparison last year, his game is very much north-south, and it's along the boards below the goal line. I found it to be an easier transition. I think Shabanov's going to be just fine, but it's going to take him a little bit of time. Look for Patrick Waugh to maybe put him in a couple extra exhibition games just to have him find that rhythm and find that tempo.
Cal, there's certain players that when they have that step and they get the puck on their stick and head up ice with a little bit of room, everybody kind of inches up in their seat just a little bit. Matt Barzal certainly has that, no doubt. Connor McDavid, Kirill Kaprizov, some of those guys, and I feel like initial impressions, Shabanov may have that as well.
Definitely, and Schaefer has it, and you can see it. There's just something different about their first step, their ability to kind of explode and cover ice in a way that everyone else can't do. And another chance here for the Islanders, but what's interesting about it is you can notice it. You can notice it in the blink of an eye, and that's what makes those guys special. Barzy doing things like this, and his first step when he came in, I thought was amazing. But the league this year, the kids who come in, and they're so explosive and talented that the game is really in a great place, and those guys are special, and you can notice right away.
One of the first things that the Islanders said about both Shabanov and Schaefer for the first couple of days of training camp is that first step, and their skating is certainly fluid and natural for both of them, but it all stems from that very first step. Something Scott Mayfield noted especially. This one's covered up by Bjarnason.
Well, the first step's important for both players in a different ways, and for
Right.
Matthew Schaefer, it's either closing a gap or it's getting up in a rush, and for Shabanov, it's exploding from his wing spot or it's jumping into a hole in the offensive zone to beat a defender, and the NHL is so hard to score in these days that you really need that quickness and that speed to be able to pop into spots, and that if you're playing with players who have the ability to find you in that window, you're going to have a lot of success.
Horvat to the dot with Drouin and Shabanov to his outsides. Horvat coming off of a 28-goal season. 57 points, led the Islanders last year.
In midseason form, giving it to the linesman for getting kicked out of a draw. Love to see that fire out of Bo.
You feel like you've been done wrong? Doesn't matter if it's
no, it doesn't matter if it's
regular
preseason or not.
season.
You're right.
Here is Horvat right on with a shot deflected down at Bjarnason.
I do love the confidence of Drouin coming in as a winger, second in the draw, moving Bo Horvat behind him, setting up a little different offensive look. I enjoy that offensive confidence.
Curious about communication. Obviously the preseason's a good opportunity to develop some of that communication with your teammates. How much chirping goes on in a preseason game between your team and another? Obviously the intensity may not be what it is during the regular season, but you're still out there to do a job, and you were a pest back in the day. How much are you trying to get under the skin of the opponent in one of these games?
As you get older, you're not as much trying to get under the skin of the opponents, but there's young kids who are in your shoes that 10 years previous were trying to get into yours. So there's always a little bit going on. It really depends on who's out there. There's certain personalities that just can't help themselves, and there's certain personalities on the other side that are trying to make the same impression that everyone else is on your side. So I always just try to play my game and stay out of it in the preseason. There's really no need for...
Oh, look out there. Horvat got buried. No penalty. We continue on.
We'll see if anybody takes exception to that, but there's really no need to, as a veteran player, to go out and look for extra.
Oh, good save there. Gehagen on a pass right there for Michkov.
Great save.
Wow, one of the better saves of the night. Michkov moving in, and Parker Gehagen making sure he gets noticed.
Found himself a little deep in the net, but still found a way to get that pad on it. I don't know if he got it with the glove. It looked close. Something looked off about that one, but you can see Bo Horvat rolling up high on that face-off win by Drouin, and playing with Casey Cizikas, you get put into a a lot of faceoffs. When he gets kicked out of the dot, and I'm not sure I had the confidence to go set him up behind me and draw that thing back on his tape.
Back to the young guys, Cal. What I was curious about, and this, could still something to be something to keep an eye on during the preseason, but a guy like Kayshawn Aitchison, we've talked a lot about, and we've talked about his physicality. You wonder, if he was waiting for this exhibition play to kind of unleash himself a little bit, right? He doesn't want to have one of those monster hits on a teammate in training camp or development camp, but now you're taking on other opponents. He's a youngster. He's trying to make sure people recognize him, maybe even more so than they already are, and maybe now he gets unleashed a little bit for some of this contact.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in a couple games and see him get a little more comfortable. I think, you could see that he's probably a step or two behind Schaefer, and that's a tough benchmark because obviously Schaefer's a special player, but as he gets more comfortable, I'm very excited to see him find his way and step up, and with him and a guy like Alex Romanov in the lineup that has the ability to step up, it really makes opposing forwards really think about what they're doing and where they are in space when they're coming up the ice through the neutral zone. Between Romanov and Aitchison, those guys have the ability to really put some big hits on, and obviously Marshall Warren with a big one today, and that's a huge asset to a team that that I think last year lacked a little bit of physicality.
There's Warren fresh off the bench, fires a bullet in on goal, and it's moved up the far boards. Warren playing with a little extra pep in his step here tonight. Under 9 minutes to go in the third, and it's Marshall Warren's goal that continues to keep the Islanders out front by 1. Flyers called for icing, and so we'll come all the way back down.
Warren's had a great game. Again, we've said it a couple times, but just a great job of making himself noticed and making sure he stands out a little bit. He's had a couple chances. He's got 1 goal, big hit. He's done a great job, and it's got to be a thrill for him in front of his hometown crowd and his family and friends, and really looking like he's hungry to try and crack this lineup at some point.
.8:46 to go here in the third. Luca Romano, face-off win, comes out to McWard. Shot blocked down, and Romano's right back on it. Remyev over to Warren. Shuffles one just wide, kicks off the end boards, and it's Veremyev. Romano given a rough ride by Drysdale, former 6th overall pick of the Ducks. Veremyev good on the forecheck here. Romano hoping for that pass, never arrived from Drew. And Zamula will steer it down the ice.
That's the kind of shift you're looking for out of a line like that, a heavy shift down in the offensive zone, making sure that the Flyers got to go 200 feet to get a chance, maintaining, and then the Islanders can come out with another grindy line here and try and hem the Flyers in for a couple shifts.
Noah Cates drops it off for Andre. Sends it a little deeper, and then it's Cates right back on it. Nearly wrapped up by Aitchison. Andre trying to slide one diagonally for Cates. That's intercepted. Here's Aitchison up ice. He'll take a hit in the neutral zone from Juleson. He's in pain, and that's going to draw some commotion in front of the Flyers bench. Aitchison comes up, but he's only on one skate for now, and the Islanders training staff is checking in on Aitchison, and you see the aftermath there in front of the Flyers bench. Polatine, Jeffries in the middle of it for New York. I believe that's Highmore in there as well, and Aitchison is headed down the tunnel, and you hold your breath as he is having a tough time putting any pressure on one leg.
Yeah, you don't like to see that. Looked like one of those where he kind of got half the body, and you could kind of see it coming, and Aitchison kind of moved to his right a little bit as he was kind of looking left, and usually the deliverer of those hits kind of took one there, and you really hope he's okay. Great response by the Islanders. You like to see that. I mean, you need to respond in a way like that and a hit like that. You know, the Flyers didn't really respond to the hit earlier in the game, but again, your Islander fans are holding their breath.
I'm not sure.
New York Islanders penalty number 77, 2 minutes for roughing.
So D'Angelo's going to get the only penalty for roughing, standing up for his teammate and his D partner here tonight in Aitchison. I'm not sure Aitchison ever saw that hit coming from Noah Juleson, and Aitchison is back in the Islanders' room. So we hold our breath for the 17th overall pick. Meanwhile, it's 2-1 New York. 7:39 to go in the third.
Big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
Gather your group of 10 or more for a night out with drinks and hockey here at UBS Arena. Add the drink package to your group ticket offer and enjoy 3 hours of unlimited wine, beer, and seltzer. Learn more now by calling 888-NY-ISLES or reaching out to NewYorkIslanders.com/groups. The Islanders on the kill for a fourth time tonight. Tony DeAngelo in the box for roughing after a brutal hit in the neutral zone against Keyshawn Aitchison. And Cal, you hope that one looked worse than it actually ends up being.
Yeah, you hope it's more of a Charlie horse situation and not anything more serious. And I've been on the receiving end of plenty of Charlie horses, and they hurt. And, you know, a lot of times you just want to get back in the room and kind of squirm it out, and hopefully that's all it is. And yeah, you know, it's a tough thing. Going through the middle of the ice, you just kind of have to be aware of where you're at and who's out there. And you know, good response by the Islanders, though. I really like how they jumped into action right away there.
So Keyshawn Aitchison is back in the Islanders' room. Both teams are actually now down to 17 skaters. We're told by the Flyers PR staff that Lane Peterson, who was injured in the first and went back to the room, he will not return. He is out for the rest of this game. So Peterson, the 28-year-old who's entering his 9th pro season, is out for the rest of this one. And I would imagine just for safety or for precaution, Aitchison won't return either, no matter how bad or how okay that injury ends up being. But Keyshawn Aitchison excited to play his first game in an Islanders sweater here at UBS Arena tonight. And the Flyers continuing on this power play, trying to tie it up, but no more as Bo Horvat got yanked back. And that will cancel out the final 105. Penalty called here on the Flyers. Goes against Matvei Michkov.
Philadelphia penalty number 39, 2 minutes for hooking.
Well, in general, the Islanders' kills look pretty good tonight. I don't know if the Flyers have had many great A opportunities. Trevor Zegras had a chance from a shot from the top of the circle while we were talking about the hit on Aitchison. But really, the Islanders' PK has looked a lot better than it has in the last year or so. And I think it's just more due to their forecheck is better and their pressure is a little better in the zone, and taking away those great A opportunities. And they've actually done a good job and drawn a couple penalties while on the penalty kill to negate half of the power play. So one half of the special teams looks like it's been improved, and they've got about 55 seconds on the tail end of this 4-on-4 to try and show their power play off.
I'll start this 4-on-4 sequence just over a minute with a Horvat faceoff. It's immediately taken in behind the Flyers net by Denver Barkley. coming off of a Memorial Cup championship last year in the OHL. Teammates with Jesse Nurmi, the London Knights, who won the Memorial Cup. Nurmi is injured as here's Barkley again to the front. Save made by Gahagan, and the Islanders have numbers, or at least had numbers. Now it's 3-on-3. Barzal's going to pull up. He'll kick it right back to Schaefer. 30 seconds to go of 4-on-4. Schaefer in. Islanders made changes behind him. Palmieri comes on and feeds it back to Schaefer. Mayfield to Schaefer. They'll trade places. Schaefer back through. Shabanov has a look. Kept to the outside by Yegor Zamula. And ginning up the wall to Nesbitt. Barkley fans on it. Here's Schaefer. Schaefer steps and shoots one off the blocker.
A great chance for him to get his first one there, but good save.
A gift for Schaefer, and he had a look. Looking for his second point of this game and his first goal. Islanders now on the power play. It's down to 40 seconds. Their second power play of the game, although this one abbreviated. Here's Barzal. Holds. Down low to the goal line. Palmieri. Right back to Barzal. They'll work it around the horn. D'Angelo. Schaefer continues onto the ice here. He'll have the puck now. Rips one towards the net. Deflects off of a body and wide. And then here's Barzal. Schaefer. Barzal. Skate to stick. Palmieri. A dozen to go on the power play. Barzal straight away. Has a look. Trades places with D'Angelo. Shabanov looking for D'Angelo. It got through him, and that will kill off the man advantage.
Well, good job by Schaefer rolling out of position twice to try and change up the look. But again, for the Islanders, kind of left to the outside. Not much penetration inside of the Philadelphia Killers unit and box. And you're really trying to look to the inside. And something like that, try and penetrate cross box a couple times. Throw something at the net. Let them kind of scatter a little bit, and then you could turn around and hit those seams. The Islanders just a little stagnant with the puck right now.
Jeffrey's knocked down by Garnett Hathaway. Pumps back up. Here's McWard. Tape to tape for Warren. Stretch pass ahead. Has Jeffries at the line. He'll work it in. And then squeezed into the glass by Andre. Emil Andre, nearly 50 games of NHL experience. Time in the AHL as well. Gahagan comes out. Taps it back to the corner. Jeffrey slows things down. Chips it out over the logo. Slowed and gathered by Andre. Both teams making changes. Kaplan in. Loses the puck. Falls down. Islanders up by Shabanov. Right back to Horvat. In on the backhand save, Bjarnason.
Nice little play there at the blue line by Shabanov.
These two are fun together, huh?
They are.
Horvat and Shabanov.
They are. And they're only going to get better. You know what's great is when a coach puts together a line at the start of training camp and says, you guys are going to be together for a while. We're going to give you the time to develop some chemistry. It's always good to get through a preseason trying to figure each other out. Gives you the time to go into game one feeling like you're comfortable with each other. And for somebody who's new to the league and has high expectations, it is nice to get that opportunity to get to know Bo Horvat and try and have as much success early in the year as you possibly can.
Barzal trying to collect that puck, comes out of the zone. Shabanov will finish up a change as Kyle Palmieri steps on to join Lee and Barzal. 2:40 to go in the third period. Islanders leading by a goal. Both of their tallies in the second period tonight. The Flyers had the first strike back in the opening frame. McWard in. This play is offside. Headed down the stretch in preseason game number 1 after this. Islanders out front, 2-1.
At Northwell's Cardiovascular Institute, we don't know the meaning of untreatable or too complex. Call us determined. Stubborn, maybe. But from the city to the suburbs to the sand. As the most experienced cardiac team in the tri-state area, with the nation's highest cardiac success rates, we face what others call untreatable and say, not today. Northwell. Raise health.
When you need to be sure your financial data is safe, we've got your bank. When you want real-time tools to manage your money on the go and real people you can go to whenever you need them, we've got your bank. When you believe there's no greater asset than trust, we've got your bank. With top-rated cybersecurity, leading-edge online and mobile banking tools, trust Dime Community Bank to be there for you and your business. Visit Dime.com to learn more. Official partner of the New York Islanders.
Season ticket members get access to exclusive events like the upcoming FanFest Barbecue on September 28th. Hang out, eat barbecue, and play lawn games with your favorite Islanders. Your last chance to get in on the barbecue is coming up, so sign up to become a season ticket member by September 27th to lock in your invite. And call 888-NY-ISLES or reach out to NewYorkIslanders.com/membership. 2:27 to go here in the third. Islanders leading 2-1. First of 6 preseason games. They're in Newark. Take on the Devils coming up Tuesday night at 7. At MSG to take on the New York Rangers next Thursday. The next home game against the New Jersey Devils is coming up next Friday, a 7 o'clock start here at UBS Arena. They'll host the Rangers on September 29th. They'll finish up the preseason in Philadelphia on October the 2nd, and then it's the first of 82 in the regular season. Starts in Pittsburgh October the 9th. Well, 2:11 to go here in the third. Bjarnason has been yanked by Rick Tocchet, and so the Flyers with the net empty. Islanders trying to finish it off, and Anders Lee couldn't quite get that one through. So it's 6-on-5. Flyers net is wide open. And Trevor Zegras will bring it in. Lost the puck, and it's Highmore shooting at the empty net well wide. And it's icing on the Isles. Well, you want to work on all situations, Cal.
Yeah.
I talked about they've had power play time. They've had PK time, 4-on-4. Now they get a crack at trying to shoot into this empty net and end it.
It's been a great game that way for the Islanders. A lot of, like you said, a lot of different opportunities. And really you want to try and see not only what players do in certain situations, you want your team to get a little practice at these, and obviously this being one of the most important situations you're going to face hopefully a number of times throughout the year.
We're down to 100 seconds. Flyers with the puck off the draw. Scott Mayfield steps to this one, locks it up in the corner. Then pulled free. Flyers will kick it out high with Zamula. Drysdale. Tape-to-tape pass into the corner. Gurbankin right to Drysdale. Slap shot right on. Save, score. Gahagan left the rebound. The Flyers have tied it with 1:18 to play. It's Matvei Michkov on the second chance.
Well, I think it starts with the icing and the attempt. I don't know if Highmore was trying to score from his own blue line, but I think at that point you can have a little more poise, try and get the red line, try and maintain a little puck possession, and then after that you lose a face-off, and I think you just need to put a little more pressure on the Philadelphia Flyers. The New York Islanders were kind of standing in a tight sort of house box formation, and you know we always had great success in these 6-on-5 situations by putting as much pressure on the puck carriers you possibly can, limit their opportunities. All they can do is kind of keep it on the yellow, throw it around the boards. They don't get those opportunities, and some might chalk that up to a bad bounce, but that's a free one-timer from the top, and you're at the mercy of where that puck bounces. Don't give them that opportunity.
So a 2-2 game here headed towards the final minute. And if this game didn't already have a little bit of everything, we may, in fact, have 3-on-3 overtime. We'll see. Not quite there yet. 61 seconds to go. Icing called against the Flyers. And the Islanders are going to get a face-off in the O-zone. Matvei Michkov on the rebound with his first of the preseason. 26 in the regular season a year ago. And no doubt the Flyers are looking for more out of Michkov this season. Minutes to go in the third. The Flyers will bring it ahead over the line. Barkley got knocked down by D'Angelo. Miles back in. Shabanov shoulder to shoulder into the near corner. Was with Emil Andre. And now 2-on-2 the other way, lobbed in from the red line. Horvat in a corner battle with Barkley. Steers it up the wall. Shabanov out to center. Polatine trying to settle it down. Here's Spencer Gill, former second-round pick. Leads on Michkov. Slowed at the logo, but got it through Highmore. Sent in deep by Noah Cates, 15 seconds left. Matthew Schaefer back onto the ice, he'll play it ahead. Here's Highmore racing in, down the wall, to the side of the net, played it off the outside of the cage. Flyers get possession, and we are headed to overtime. 60 minutes, not enough here in the preseason opener. Islanders had 2 goals in the second. The Flyers bookend that with a goal in the first and then one late in the third. We'll see what happens here in OT.
Just an extra situation to deal with. I mean, these overtimes are very important. Obviously get you some extra points during the regular season, and why not give it a crack here today?
A year ago, the Islanders went to overtime on 19 occasions. They finished with a record of 7-12. They were 5-9 in OT. They were 2-3 in their 5 shootout results. And obviously, during the regular season, we would say both teams have earned 1 point. There's still one more out there. Of course, that's not the case, and really the result doesn't matter here in the preseason, but Cal, as you alluded to, another situation for the Islanders coaching staff and for Matthew Darche to kind of analyze and rethink headed into the regular season and see what works and what didn't work.
And it's an opportunity for some guys to find some open ice and for the fans to see some back and forth hockey. You always like the 3-on-3 overtime. I think over the years, when it first came in, it was very exciting. It was 2-on-1 after 2-on-1 and breakaway after breakaway, and teams had started to figure out how to play 3-on-3. Coaches have coached the fun out of it. I think in this preseason, in this game in particular, hopefully we get to see a couple exciting rushes and ultimately an Islander win.
This will be fun to see Shabanov on the ice at times here in 3-on-3. Certainly Matt Barzal, who missed the final 31 games of last season with a knee injury. Only played 30 games overall, so didn't get to see him in this 3-on-3 situation as much as Isles fans would have wanted. We'll get to see him start overtime alongside of Kyle Palmieri and Tony DeAngelo. Parker Gahagen remains in net for the Isles. 20-year-old Carson Bjarnason in net, down to our left for the Flyers. Zegras at the dot for Philly. Head-to-head with Matt Barzal. 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime is a go. And the Islanders have possession first.
Winning that opening draw in overtime is huge. It's huge. It gives you possession, gives you a chance to come up with that thing, and you try not to give it up. Sometimes in OT, you lose that draw, you don't get the puck back for 2 minutes.
Barzal attacking right away. Shot deflects up and over the glass. For the Flyers, they went to overtime 22 times a year ago. Their record was 12-10. Flyers finished the season tied with Boston for last in the Eastern Conference. And again, both of these teams missing the playoffs, looking for a much better 2025-26 campaign. Flyers with the puck after that draw. They've got possession for the first time here in this OT, which is only 30 seconds old. Palmieri, Barzal, DeAngelo stay on the ice for the Isles. Drop pass here, and it's Gurbankin in. Drag shoots. Missed the net. It comes around the boards on for Drysdale. Flyers will make a change. Islanders steal it away at center. Palmieri in. Drops it for DeAngelo. And he'll send it right back to his goaltender in Parker Gahagen.
That's a good play. It's a possession game in 3-on-3. You don't want to go giving it up. You don't want to take chances if you don't feel like you really have a chance to create a good opportunity.
Barzal to the net, strong on it. And he lost the puck as he neared the crease. Here's a home run pass ahead, on for Zegras. Zegras in, goes high, and he can't finish it off as that puck deflects out of play. Islanders made a change, got Drouin and Schaefer onto the ice, and then the home run feed got in behind the aisles, and it was Zegras. Took a chop there from Schaefer, and the puck ended up into the netting.
That's just how quickly things can turn in 3-on-3. Zegras kind of seeing Barzal take the puck to the net. He's thinking he's either going to score and the game's over, or I'm going to get a breakaway. And he ends up with the breakaway. He just couldn't finish it off. Some would call that cheating. Some would call it smart. Depends who you talk to.
And I guess it depends on the outcome a little bit,
yes,
too.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Schaefer, Horvat, and Drouin. The trio on for the Islanders. Comes Schaefer in. Delays, drops it. Drouin has a look, trying short side. Angle cut off by Bjarnason. And Yegor Zamula settles it down for the Flyers. I guess if you're going to cheat and try, the preseason's the time to do it, although I guess it also depends on who you are in battling for a spot, because you don't want to make that awful mistake that loses you a roster spot.
But again, like I said, Zegras has no effect on Matt Barzal going to the net. That's a one-on-one. He's thinking to himself, this is going to result in a whistle or a goal against or a breakaway for me. And, there's a time and a place to cheat. You can do it smartly, but, he's not just hanging out at the far blue line. He's reading that play, and he's trying to decide whether it's a calculated risk.
Andre stopping and starting. Bo Horvat right there on his hip. And then a drop pass for Barkley. Barkley takes it out of the zone. Flyers will change at least one skater. We're halfway through overtime. Zegras was looking for Michkov, intercepted. D'Angelo ahead, and here's Highmore. Highmore waltzes out to the point, now darts straight at the net, curls back. Islanders get Shabanov onto the ice. Max Shabanov delays, waits for Schaefer to come on. Shabanov stopping and starting, and then down the wall to the middle. Highmore curls and looks. Shabanov drags, shoots, save made. Rebound was there for Schaefer. And look out here, Flyers in. It's Michkov. Back checking is Schaefer, wraps him up, and Michkov goes crashing into Gahagen. Look out here the other way. It's 3-on-2. Shabanov, Schaefer, hold, shoot, save made by Bjarnason. Rebound fell.
You didn't see it. Just hit him.
Drysdale feeds it ahead, on for Zegras. Zegras on the backhand, floats it into the glove of Gahagen, wisely plays it. Tries to spring Barzal, and he's up ice 1-on-1. Barzal hits the brakes. Palmieri waits. Palmieri on for Barzal. Barzal holds and had it stripped away. A minute to go in overtime. Intensity picking up. D'Angelo shakes free. Looking for Barzal. The pass too far out in front of him. Barzal will get to it, no problem. Palmieri goes for a change. Horvat comes on. And it's Barzal, Horvat. And now D'Angelo to the bench, and Matthew Schaefer comes on with 35 seconds to go. Here come the Islanders. Horvat with speed. Trying to turn Cates inside out. Lost the puck. Bjarnason played it to the corner. Home run pass here, too far out in front of Hathaway. Schaefer with 18 to go. And it's Matthew Schaefer already with an assist tonight. Brings it in, cross-ice pass, gathered off the wall by Horvat. 6 now, 5 to go. Barzal drags, shoots off the glass. Collision in the near corner. Horvat got the worst of it, and we are headed to a shootout. An overtime session that started more on the conservative side. Certainly didn't end that way, Cal. Both teams with chances, but no goals here in 3-on-3, 5-minute OT.
Well, that's usually what happens the longer these periods go on. The difficult thing, too, is the change. Like, if you're stuck in, you got a long change, you've got 3 guys out there, it's really difficult to get off the ice, especially for a defenseman or somebody who's playing down low. You're normally playing man-on-man. So if the Flyers have the puck down at top of the circles in their own end, and let's say Tony DeAngelo decides he wants to change, that leaves you 2-on-1 to defend. So you got to be out there for extended periods of time, and then it becomes difficult to recover the puck. So that's why puck possession is so important in overtime, and even kind of slowing it down, bringing it back just to see if you're going to get somebody to bite on a change, and then you can hit them with a quick odd man rush, or again a chance at one end. One guy hangs out at the red line. There you go, breakaway at the other end. It's a interesting brand of hockey.
There's plenty of Islanders fans here in attendance tonight at UBS Arena. They are getting a show here. We'll open up the exhibition schedule. Plenty of fans have stuck around for this one. Both teams have led. It's been a back and forth hockey game. Plenty of experimenting on both sides. Plenty of learning for Patrick Waugh and Matthew Darche and the Islanders. And now we'll see what happens in the shootout.
Looks like Shabanov.
Max Shabanov will be the first shooter. Carson Bjarnason, the goaltender for the Flyers. Parker Gahagen on the other side, but this is certainly one thing we've been wanting to see through camp, and that's Max Shabanov on a penalty shot. He's in, holds on the backhand, and he lost the handle on it, then did get a shot off, but he was in too deep. And the Islanders can't cash in on their first opportunity.
You can appreciate the try and the flash. He's clearly trying to endear himself to these fans. Let's see what Trevor Zegras has got up his sleeve in his first shootout attempt as a Flyer.
Well, we know Zegras has skill as well. He's in very slowly, wide right. The lefty holds, picks up speed on the backhand, and Gahagen read that one well.
Nice patience from Gahagen there. Another little mishandle from Zegras. Can't imagine the ice conditions are great at this point. Just a little shovel job. It's early in the year. Probably wise to go in there and just try and rip one, you know.
Jonathan Drouin, the next shooter for the Islanders. And he's in much quicker. Pulls up in the middle. Elevates it high and up and over the crossbar. And that one off the glass. The Islanders are 0 for 2.
Nice little try. Looked like the puck flipped up on him a little bit. Again, it looks like it's bouncing a little. But let's see what Michkov's got up his sleeve here.
20-year-old Matvei Michkov, fourth in the Calder race last year. He'll pick the puck up at center. He's in. The lefty moves it on Gahagen. On the backhand, and he outlasted Gahagen that time and scores. And the Flyers have the first goal of this shootout in the bottom of the second round. And so Matt Barzal comes onto the ice and has to score for the New York Islanders.
Nice fake by Michkov, just getting the goaltender to bite. And now it's up to Barzy to keep it alive.
Matt Barzal comes in. Straight in on goal. Shoots off the post. It hit the backside of Bjarnason and goes in.
You got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. It's a nice move by Barzy. I like the simplicity of it. I like where he's going with that puck. Low glove is always very difficult for especially taller goaltenders to cover. Got a fortuitous bounce, but he made a good move.
20-year-old Denver Barkley, third-round pick of the Flyers a couple of years ago. Trying to win it. He's in. Holds. Waits, shoots, knocked down Gahagen, and we continue on. Big save there.
That's twice he's tried to go 5-hole. He had a backhand attempt early in the third period. Not able to find that 5-hole, and here we go, Matthew Schaefer.
Shootout attempt for Matthew Schaefer, and UBS Arena comes to its feet. The 18-year-old in slowly, holds on the backhand, and getting a piece of it was Bjarnason. And he cancels out the try from Matthew Schaefer.
Nice move, just got in a little too tight, I think. Had to be a little nervous for that one. I know he said he wasn't nervous tonight.
Yeah.
That one will kick the nerves up a little bit. We've all been there.
How can you not be? And so now it is Nikita Grabankin. Came over in a trade at the deadline from Toronto. Grabankin shoots it off the post. It hit the left side square. So each team with a goal through 4 rounds. And Bo Horvat takes the ice. At 28 goals a year ago. Very quickly in on goal, hits the break, shoots it wide as he tried for the stick side of Bjarnason. Matt Barzal with the only Islanders goal in this shootout so far. 12th overall pick this past summer. Jack Nesbitt trying to end it for the Flyers here. Another 18-year-old in this game. Nesbitt in. Holds, shoots, kicks, save, Gahagen.
Couple big saves by Gahagen. The Islanders have missed the net a couple times, but Gahagen's been very, very patient in there for the Isles, giving them multiple chances to go out there and try and put one away.
And Kyle Palmieri will give it a try next for the Islanders. He's in quickly. Comes in down the left side. Palmieri holds, shoots, and that one hits the post and kicks out. It was close. In fact, from that vantage, or this vantage point, a lot of fans on this side count thought that one was in.
I thought it was in. It looked like the corner bar, but obviously just found the elbow there and stayed out. But another good move. I think as we go down the line here, we're going to get the boys shooting the puck.
Here's Jamie Drysdale. The defenseman in, shoots, kicked that one off the outside of the post, and we may be here all night.
The guys are so excited to be back, they don't want to go home tonight.
I feel like there was a game against Montreal or something last year. It went like 8 or 9 rounds. Remember early in the year. We may have that here in the first preseason game. DeAngelo next. Looks, shoots, scores! Tony DeAngelo gives the Islanders their second goal of the shootout, going glove side on Bjarnason. And a save here from Gahagen would end it.
I really like that put on the brakes at the hash marks move. It makes the goalie back up a little further than he wants to, expecting you to come in and deke, and then you can kind of pick a hole, low glove, high glove, low blocker, or 5-hole. I was always a big fan of that move. Not that I got a chance to use it that often, but 3-puck at the end of practice, I loved it.
All right, hey, let's see what Noah Cates has. Save from Gahagen ends it. Noah Cates in quickly towards the net, shoots, scores! And we are through 7 rounds of this shootout, and we continue on for at least an 8th round, and each team with 2 goals so far. Next on the ice for the Islanders is Gleb Veremyev out of Colorado College, entering his rookie season. The lefty wide right. 22-year-old entering his 3rd pro season. Samu Tuomala in down the left side. On the forehand, goes low, and it's kicked away by Gahagen. Those two were teammates last year with Lehigh Valley, and so advantage Gahagen in certain ways. He's seen a lot of these Flyers with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms of the American Hockey League before. Luca Romano, 3rd-round pick this past June. And only 18 years of age, he's got an opportunity here in the shootout. Romano in on goal, holds, backhand, forehand, scores!
Wow.
What hands there? Take a bow, Luca Romano.
I think he had the whole building thinking he was stymied on the backhand and then put on the brakes and went the other way. That's a great move. It's not often you could see an NHL goalie get beat that cleanly. What a move. Talk about getting noticed.
Silky hands from Luca Romano in the 10th round of the shootout. Here's Rodrigo Abels trying to extend it. Abels in, shoots, scores! Bar down for Abels, who opened the scoring what seems like it was 7 hours ago. We're not done yet. On to the 11th round of this shootout.
Incredible. Well, the fans are getting the full value tonight.
They sure are, yeah. And not many of these seats are being used. Everyone here at UBS Arena is on their feet. Tomasz Polatin through the left circle, lost the puck, got it back on the forehand, got in too tight and was stuffed. So Tomasz Polatin couldn't get one through, and Flyers have another chance to win it with Emil Andre.
How close are we to going back to the top?
My notes are a mess right now, to be honest,
I think
Cal.
we're 4 away, 5
yeah,
away?
I'm going to say 5. Here comes Andre in. Emil Andre, forehand, backhand through on the brakes, and it's a good goal for Andre. The Flyers in the 11th round of the shootout will take the 3-2 win over the Islanders. But certainly a memorable start to this preseason. The Islanders had a 2-1 lead. Flyers tied it up late in the third with their net empty, and it took 11 rounds, but the Flyers win it 3-2. One final cherry on top of this broadcast, if you will, Cal. Just what do you take away from tonight?
Well, I think you take away that Matthew Schaefer kind of looked as advertised. And really for the Islanders, I'm looking more at the younger guys and how they performed, and a couple of them stood out to me. Marshall Warren obviously had a great night, and I'm really taking away that I'm excited for the Matthew Schaefer to begin. He really looks like something special.
Cal, it's been a pleasure to work with you tonight. Good stuff.
You too, Alan. Thank you so much.
A lot of fun. The Islanders back in action on Tuesday in Newark. They're back at home here in preseason action, hosting the Devils next Friday. For Alan Fuhr and Cal Clutterbuck, our entire crew here with the New York Islanders, thanks so much for watching. 3-2 the final here at UBS Arena.